taking a break. Welcome to the Bob and Cam Show. Hey, where am I? All right. We really weren't planning on doing this, but we didn't have time to do a video today. It has been a mess. We are back home. We are in Arizona at the moment, the next 3 weeks. Just want to kind of give you guys a little bit of an update of what's going on, what we found out, kind of tell you about the next upcoming videos that we're going to be having coming up. So we'll go from there. First off, there's a lot of campgrounds already starting to book for next year for the Sturgis Rally 2026. I've just seen over at Pappy Hoyle, I've heard some stuff going over there. Full Throttle Saloon's got some of their premium cabins with the bathrooms and the showers. They've got them open already, and they're booking those. Kathmandu is also starting to do some stuff with theirs. There's probably a lot more. I don't know, did I mention No Name? No Name has already started. They started the Monday after the rally. What?
Glencoe.
Yeah, Glencoe has already started. They got their passes and stuff up already. So there's already a lot of stuff going on if you're interested in going next year. I always tell everybody, just a FYI, if you're thinking about going next year, and if you're thinking about the Full Throttle Saloon, or you're thinking of the Buffalo Chip, you might want to go ahead and buy your general admission passes. Or at Buffalo Chip, you get your wristbands, and that gets you to all the concerts. Next year will be a big year for the Buffalo Chip. We've talked to Rod. It's actually going to be his 45th, but at the moment he's not interested in his 45th. He's interested in the 250th anniversary of America. But one of the things I said to him the other day, and he didn't tell me no. Yes. So I went right up to him and I said, I can think of one person for sure you're going to have next year, because this guy's about as patriotic as you can get. And of course, who is that? Kid Rock. So, and he didn't say no. He just kind of looked at me like, you probably got that one right. But he didn't say that. So, but I'm saying yes, because I'm looking at the two for sure. Probably Kid Rock for sure definitely is going to book. And it wouldn't surprise me if Jelly Roll's not there next year too. So if you're interested in those, as soon as they put the passes up, we're trying to get a hold of Rod now, but he didn't answer the phone today, to see if he's going to start getting on ball and start doing his passes and getting stuff reserved for next year and all that good stuff. So we'll see how that all happens. Don't know what the Full Throttle is going to be. He said he's got some stuff he's thinking about for next year, but he hasn't got that. So we'll have to wait and see. But I'm like, if you're somebody that's interested in concerts, that's what you ought to do. Get them in the cheap, get in the door, and then that way you're at least there. And I always say is if you get them when they first come out, usually if you go to 2 concerts, you paid for your pass. So there you go. There's my thoughts and recommendations for you. Looks like we are at Kathmandu again next year, so we'll announce that right here, because we've had a lot of people ask where we were going to go. We had several other campgrounds that asked us. Kathmandu said they had such a great time with us. We had a lot of subscribers there. A lot of you know who were there. Had a really good turnout. So if you're interested, you might want to give them a call as soon as possible and start booking for next year and get that down. We're going to get into some videos real soon. We're waiting for the last numbers coming from the city to get their actual count of what they have and stuff. They got crazy numbers already. But just like us, we're down on Main Street every day at least once. So if you count all the rubber bands we run over probably in a given day, it's probably 4 or 5 of them. And I'm going to show you that list of where those are at. And it's not hard not to run over them. At least once, if not twice. So if everybody ran over them 4 times, that would take their numbers that they've got right now. I think last time I seen like 389 or 400,000. You could cut that, down a quarter, and you'd only have 100,000 people, which to me would be a little more realistic. But we're going to show you a lot of things that we'll show you that a lot of other YouTubers aren't going to show you about the attendance. Why I'm going to actually show you proof of why. By looking at videos that we took, you'll be able to determine on your own, compared to this rally, compared to last year's rally, what the difference is in what you're going to see. So I already noticed that when we were there. Some of you may have already talked to us. I might have already told you some of that. So something to think about. We also have some more videos on Sturgis. We did the Bike Builders Breakfast. We got some interviews from that. We also did the museum's inductee. Tam actually got all the inductees, so we got some really cool people that she got to talk to. So we'll have a video on that. Michael Ballard from the Full Throttle Saloon, he gave us a really good interview there that we're going to be putting up. I think I'm just going to do a full throttle video. Because we are the only ones that got access to the full throttle this year. No other YouTuber was allowed or given permission or even talked to Michael. So it's kind of special that we got that, and we should. He was pretty pleased with what we already put out on him. So I think we'll be pretty good for next year. We'll talk a little bit about the smoke meat. There was some issues with getting to that. And we talked to them before we left, so we'll have some answers for that in the full throttle video. So we'll be able to show you a lot of stuff on that. What do you got?
Art's fun. I'm just saying hi to everybody. Art and Lisa. David Eastwood. David Eastwood said he already booked his hotel room for Deadwood next year, and he said they're staying longer. Linda said she was even staying longer. Whoops on too. Aloha.
So, this year it's going to be later. Next year is going to be later. It's not going to start till
August
7th. So it's really late in the year because they go off the first full weekend. So we've kind of.
Next year will be even the year after.
No, it should bounce back up. So we'll have to wait and see how that all goes. My phone's buzzing in my pocket. So we got home in about 2.25 days. We drove, pulled the trailer, did about almost 600 miles the first day, did about 525 the next day, did about 115 this morning. We're almost 115 degrees. We're 111 degrees where we're at. And so we got up about 5 o'clock this morning and got back over here by about 8. And unloaded the trailer, got most of the stuff out of it, put it back in the garage, unloaded the bikes, got that all done. Went to the store, got some stuff, all that good stuff. So we finally got back here, had to go through all our mail, got like 1 million pieces of mail to open up and go through. So got all through that. And then I looked at the clock and I'm like, there is no way I'm going to get a video done today. So I said, surprise, we're going to go live. And she looked kind of rough from all day. And so she had to put some makeup on and comb her hair and all that stuff.
I didn't have time to wash it, so
so it's going to be a short live. We're not going to be on too awful long. Just wanted to kind of get out because we've been doing a video every single day. We wanted to make sure I still got something out because YouTube kind of penalizes us if we don't. Coming up, our next event is going to be Ocean City, Maryland. We're flying in that. We already talked to Emory HVAC. Everything's all set up. We'll be arriving late Tuesday before it starts. And so we'll be up and going ready for Wednesday morning when everything gets going. So we're right next to the convention center. So we'll give you a lowdown, probably not till right before it starts because I haven't really looked to see what's all going on. So we'll have that, and then we're going to go back to our daughter in Kansas. We're going to spend a week or so with her, and then we're going to drive a car from her house in Kansas to Eureka Springs for Bikes, Blues, and BBQ. We will be there Thursday, Friday before. And we'll have a bike. We're going to do a bunch of riding. If you come in early, you'll need to contact us before that and let us know that you're there, and we can email you and tell you what kind of rides we're going to go on. And if you want to go with us, we had a really big turnout here in Sturgis with people going with us. Even our meet and greet, heck, there was probably 50 people at our meet and greet. It was crazy. Never had so many people at meet and greet. So it went really quick. We only did like an hour and a half and get in and get out. And
everybody got a prize. So that was nice.
Yeah. And some got extra stuff. We had a lot of stuff to give away with Twisted Tea and with the Harley-Davidson. And it's pretty cool. And the city gave us a few things too. And so it was just kind of neat to give out all that stuff. So it was pretty cool.
Veterans Run the 26th to Cripple Creek.
We are going to have a ride during Bikes, Blues, and BBQ. I got to get it all set up. I don't know if we're doing it Thursday or Friday or what day we're going to do it. It's going to be from Eureka Springs, probably, is where I'm thinking, either from the Cat House or we'll leave from the dealership there in town. And we're going to be going to Branson, Missouri. We're going to be going to the distillery for Full Throttle Saloon. And we'll have some details soon on what's going to be, what's going to happen there. From there, we may end up going to Renegade, Teddy Morris's Renegade Harley and come back around. Probably looking at anywhere from 100 to about 150 miles round trip. So we'll leave pretty early in the morning. Probably, I don't know. We'll have to look at the time. I haven't set nothing up yet. We just kind of looked at the map and figured out it's about 49 miles from Eureka Springs to Branson. So it's 100 miles round trip. just on that. And if we add in Teddy Morris's, it's another 50 miles each way, a round trip. So that's why I figure about 150 miles. But we'll have to see what happens. We'll have to see what Teddy wants to do down there. If they want to do something special for us to make it wild to go there. I don't know what we're going to do with the money. We're thinking about charging something, and maybe we'll do it for our bike builds for vets, or maybe we'll do it for a charity down there. I don't know. Probably be like 25 or 30 bucks per rider. And the same for a passenger. We're still going to talk to them and see if they're going to do t-shirts or anything like that to give away to go with along with it, or maybe a lunch. We'll see how that all goes. If not, because we were looking at the Full Throttle Saloon, the distillery down there in Branson. They got a big menu. They got everything from brisket to.
They got breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They have steaks. They have Mexican food. They have all kinds of stuff, and it's not too badly priced.
So I was thinking they had something cheaper, and I thought, well, maybe we get somebody to sponsor us lunch. But it looks like sandwiches are anywhere from about $12 to about $22 a piece, and then you figure a drink and whatever else. So I don't know. Maybe we'll get just a discount or something. I don't know what will happen, but something to think about if you're going to Bikes, Blues and BBQ. Probably thinking Thursday or Friday. Probably we'll do one of those. Ride one of those 2 days. We'll have to see how it all goes. I don't know what else is going on down there. We try not to overlap people. I'll have to call the Badgers and see what I think they have usually something going on the same weekend too. Try not to have the rides overlap, which everybody else seems never to check with anybody. So we'll see. And if anybody knows anything about Bikes and Blues BBQ and knows anything about that, there's a whole lot of cool places to camp down there. There's lots of hotels. What are there? How many hotels are in Eureka Springs?
Like 56 for a town of 2,000.
Yeah.
Lots of hotels. Oh, somebody else was asking me about that. I told them I'd get back with them. I was going to ask Jeff because they said they can't find any place to stay in Eureka Springs. They always have to stay in Rogers because they said there's no motel rooms in Eureka Springs.
What you might do is if you're looking for something you can't find it in Eureka Springs, call the Chamber of Commerce in Eureka Springs and ask them for a list of hotels, because there's a mess of them down there. We were going to write down and see what it is, but
we rode through one year and kind of filmed each one, but I never went back through and wrote them all down.
But I mean, there's a lot. Because there's a real big one there right at the end. We had stayed there years ago just for one night. It was right there at the top of the hill before you go down to Eureka. You go down to the.
I want to say it was the Grand or something like that.
And it was an all right hotel. It was a big one though. It looked like, well, I mean, it's only 2 stories, but it was really big shaped, L-shaped or W-shaped, whatever that it was. Had a pool and all that stuff in it, and probably had, I don't know, a couple hundred rooms. So we'll have to get from Jeff and we'll see if he can get that list. And we'll post that on here. For that is going to be Daytona Biketoberfest. Guys should check that out. They're actually sponsoring us too. That's another one that kind of came up here at the end and decided to go with us on sponsorships. They're pretty free reign with whatever we want to do when we're down there. I thought we were going to have a charity ride, and that doesn't look like it's going to end up happening. Maybe we'll end up setting a ride up to go someplace. We'll have to talk to a few people down there and see where we might want to go. So that rally's from Wednesday to Saturday.
16th to the 19th.
Yeah, so whatever the 16th starts on. But we will be there for the 3-wheel rally, which is the weekend before.
Thursday.
Yeah, so it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So we might do, I don't know. We'll have to see if we're going to do a ride. I don't know. If you're going to come early, I've already talked to several people that said they're actually going to get there the week before too, like we are. We're getting in there, I think Thursday of the week before. And so we'll be there for the Triketoberfest, which not a big thing going on. It happens at Teddy Morris. It's not a big thing. They're calling it a 3-wheel rally. So, and they're more wanting trikes. Plus, there's supposed to be a bunch of trikes there. I think they're bringing a demo truck out just with trikes on it. I think I seen that today on Facebook. So if you're interested in the trike, you want to check one out, might be a time to look at them and see. And some of the vendors will be there. I think Rick Rack for sure said they were going to be there. I don't know who else. That's the only one I heard right off. But we'll get a list real soon and let you know who's going to be there the weekend before. If you're thinking about getting some work done, of course, all of our vendors are like Nick's for Ocean City. Almost all of them are going to be there. All About Customs is going to be there. We're going to have Joey and them doing the fat tires, the handlebars, the air ride suspensions, center stands, the Orland shocks and struts in the front. They'll have all those there. So you can check that out. He'll be there. Yeah, Speed Performance Plus. If you're thinking about having some cam work. Hey, had a 131 they did and just changed the cam and got over 150 horsepower out of it. He couldn't even believe it. I don't think I ended up getting, I might have it on video. I'll have to go back and look. I don't know if I got him when he was talking about that or not. I was like, holy crap, just by changing a cam on a 131, got 150 horsepower. That's a lot. So you might want to check into that. You can get a hold of Speeds and give them a call, and they can tell you what he did or whatever if you're thinking about interested in that. But I mean, they got all kinds of foreign stuff. They do oil changes, oil pumps, tuning. They got the dyno and all that stuff. A lot of guys are getting away from dynos. A lot of the aftermarket plays. You know, to make sure you do it right, you always want to get your bike dyno. That's just a sure way to make sure that they're checking everybody. Anybody can map it. That's kind of like when you put a radio in, they map it, or you change something and they do a little bit of mapping on it. It's not going to be perfect. That's what they say the average is, but your bike may not be the average. It depends what else you've done to your bike. So just something to think about. Let's see what else we got going on.
CEO.
Oh, so I found some more information about the new CEO that's coming up for Harley-Davidson on October 1st. If you guys watched that video a while back, we may do another one. But one of the reasons they're bringing this new guy in, what he wants to do is he wants to lead the iconic brand into a new era, focusing on growth and reconnecting with the riders. So that is really important. And some of the people that actually went back and looked at the two companies, that golf company and the pizza place he was in charge of, that during that time, he did do some good things. So we haven't found out if he rides a bike or not. But if you watch that video, we were talking about maybe seen a dealers meeting happening in Milwaukee.
First, second, third.
And we're getting confirmation from some of the dealerships that looks like it might be happening. And so we'll have to wait and see. And it looks like one of the dealers that we talked to, because what it is, normally they have a meeting there. I forget what they actually called it, that during that time. And I think that's why they're bringing this CEO in on October 1st, because they already had kind of a basic meeting set up where they send a few people from a few dealers.
Performance, I don't know, 3 Ps.
But it didn't matter. But that might be why he's coming in. Well, then turned around and said they got another email the other day from who else? Bill Davidson, and gave him some more information about this meeting. So once again, some of the stuff I was telling you the other day that we are hearing looks like it's starting to fall into place. So maybe we'll have hope here for Harley-Davidson. They might pull this crap out of the bag and figure out what the heck's going on and get back in the right track and see what's going on. You know, and everybody always complains about prices and stuff. Everything's high. You know, you buy an Indian, you buy their top of the line Indian, it's 40-something thousand too. Yeah. So, you know, it's yes, there is bikes that they sell, you know, Indian sells at around 13 to 15,000 for a Scout or something like that. But I mean, Harley's got that other bike that's like 13,000 or something, or 10,995, whatever the heck it is. But I mean, it's not a bike we're probably ever going to buy. And people always have opinions, but nobody's going to know what really is going to take, because we don't know what people really want. You'd have to say, just like we got a couple of grandsons, well, we got 4 of them. We've got 2 son-in-laws. One of the son-in-laws, his dad owns a bike too. I don't know if he'll ever ride a bike, but you know, what would it take to get him in a bike? Don't know. One of the things I pushed with Harley for years was they should give out free training year round to anybody that wants to learn how to ride a motorcycle. Get their license, you know, get them the bug. Maybe if they found out it was for free, you know, oh yeah, if you buy a bike, you get it for free. Well, the hell, you better get it for free if you spent the money for a bike. But I'm saying they should just do it for all the people all the time. And maybe right now they wouldn't buy a bike from you. Maybe they'll buy a used bike or something like that. And that might be something that you know, corporations, you know, Harley should do, is start looking into what it would take to get people into used bikes more. You know, pick up some of these older bikes and get them fixed. There's a handful of dealerships that work on older bikes. Black Hills Harley was one. They work on them.
Gators does down there in Florida.
And there's probably a lot of other Harley dealers that actually don't mind working on vintage bikes. And even, you know, 80s or 90s, there's a lot of really good bikes out there that, you know, might need a little bit of tender care to get it up and running, but you still might have a lot of miles, because the average person that buys a brand new bike is probably not going to go cross country with it. You know, they're going to put around town on it and drive it to work or go here or there, but get them the feel of what it takes to ride a bike. But I mean, nowadays it's tough, because it's, you know, when I started riding bike, you know, traffic wasn't as bad as it is now. We've got
you were younger too.
There's a whole lot of things we're going to talk about the Sturgis Rally this year. Not tonight, but that's going to be on a video coming up that we seen by us being in town. So we did a little different this year than what all the other YouTubers did. All these other YouTubers pretty much did the same crap they do every year. They stand around on Main Street or they're standing on a side street and they film bikes driving by and they get all the pretty girls and all that kind of stuff. Well, this year we kind of did a little different. One, we went out on 3 different rides during the Sturgis Rally and took people out with us to check out different things. We also we also did some riding by ourselves, so we probably did a lot more ride. I probably did more riding this year during the rally than I've ever done before, other than before YouTube. Before YouTube, that's all we ever did was ride. And so I'll give you my one thought that I've been having after, because everybody always asks us that same question: what is the ideal time to come to the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally? So I want to give you a couple, for instances, right now for you to think about. First of all, you got to think about next year is the 250th. You got to realize that next year it's going to be a big year in the Black Hills, because right now on schedule is the big fireworks display over Mount Rushmore. Supposed to be the president of the United States is supposed to be there. Probably a lot of other stuff will be there going on. So it'll be a very big event at that time, which that's way before, that's over a month away from when the rally actually starts. So if you're retired, it might be something to think about. If you're a working guy, you probably can't do both, but something to think about. So what I really recommend now is probably the second or third week of June would be an excellent time to come. That's one choice. The second choice is the second or third week of July. Why do I say that? Because you want to stay away from the 4th of July if you're going to come out, if you're looking to do riding, because everybody and the brothers out there, plus everybody's, eventually this year it's going to be crazy. But Black Hills is a very big tourist area. It's not as bad as Myrtle Beach or Daytona or someplace like that, but there's still a lot of cars, a lot of foreigners that aren't used to driving on American roads, and that's half the problem. Not counting the people that can't ride on motorcycles either, that are out there that shouldn't be riding either. But we heard a lot of horror stories on Iron Mountain Indians Highway from a few people that actually had never rode it and wish they never did it in the first place. So some of you already told that story too. But so those are some times I would think about. The difference is you of course the vendors won't be there. Just like when my bike broke down, I had to find somebody that would work on my bike, because I'm not going to tear it apart in a campground. I'm just not going to do that. I probably had enough tools that I could have done that. But once again, we were set up to where we could either went to Harley or I could have went to Indian. We could have got another bike that day and finished. We could have finished the day, but it was already by 3:30 by the time we figured it. We ended up going to the dealership and got some footage there that day, and that was kind of it. And then had my bike done the same day, so it worked out really good for me. But if you were looking to have, new pipes put on your bike or this or that or anything else, well, there's really nobody there other than the dealership and a few independent shops. So if you're not thinking about doing any of that, then yes, the best time to come is before the rally starts. A lot of people like the after rally. I don't like after the rally because nothing is going on, absolutely nothing. Because a lot of places, typically, like somebody just told us the other day, Monday, when we were still there, they drove down to 4 bars and they were all closed downtown. I said, because they let everybody off for 2 to 3 to 4 days. Uncle Louis Diner down there, it's closed for a week. He takes all of his people out on a camping trip, pays for it all. So once again, everybody's busted their butt for all this time, and now they're going to sit back and they're going to relax a little bit and let them recuperate and enjoy the time they had. We had one of the waitresses, I won't say what bar it was at, but she made $14,000 in tips. So the money's there if you're a good waitress, bartender / whatever you might be. There's excellent money to be made. She's a very good one. It's not the one that everybody's put on her station, Karen. It's not her. It's somebody else. Karen probably did really good too, but we don't know exactly. We didn't get to talk to her. We didn't spend as much time this year in all the bars either. You've seen some of the bars we went to. I'll give you a little tidbit of what happened in the number one bar right now, from what we can see and what we can hear from numbers and everything else, was the Full Throttle Saloon. They pulled it out and he got it all done, and we're going to show you all that, and we're going to show you what happened, what caused so much trouble, why things didn't get done as fast as they should have been. We're going to give you all that in our Full Throttle YouTube video that we'll do here in the next week or so. It's going to take me a little longer to do that because I got to get a bunch of clips up and put them all up. I got Michael's interview, and that'll be somewhere in the video that he kind of wraps everything up. I'll probably put the intro one that we did and then the exit one too on there, so you guys can see all that. Need some glasses?
No, it says I was in Sturgis to the road to Devil's Tower and it was closed. Bike accident. I heard the bike accident. Any updates on the status? Do you know how many fatalities, DUIs there were, and counted?
We will give you all those numbers as soon as we get everything up to date. Now, originally there was 4 people. We heard before we left, we heard 2 more of those people that were in accidents died. Now, the one at Devil's Tower, we were at the other end of that. 2 bikes too close together on the center line clipped each other. At the time, we heard there was no traumatic injuries, which means there was no life support arrow thing or anything like that. So I don't know if we don't know exactly how the wreck did, but it was just 2 bikes hit each other and that's it. That's going to be something we're going to talk about in our video on what we've seen in Sturgis this year. There's several things that we've seen this year that is worse than anything I've ever seen before. And I brought my attention to the way I was riding. I changed some of the things I was doing so we wouldn't get killed out there. Which there was a rumor that we're in a motorcycle wreck, and we don't know where that started at. Somebody put it on our Sturgis page. I went back and looked at it to make sure he wasn't a,
scammer.
Yeah, or a bot or something like that. It looked like he's been on there for a while, so he's put a lot of different information on. So I didn't reach out to him to see where he heard it from, but there's a lot of people that got hurt. There's a lot of people that were in the hospital for different reasons and stuff. So we'll get all that information. The chief, if you watched the video yesterday or the day before, the chief came on. That's who we caught at the end. I forgot to run his name in there and tell you that it was the chief. And he kind of told us that most of the numbers in Sturgis was actually down this year. There's a lot of talk about 1%ers that were there. I didn't see any groups at all. Maybe these 2 dudes came in town and there was a little bit of scuffle or something. I don't know what all happened with these 2 guys. I don't know who they are. I don't care who they are. It doesn't make any difference to me. But this year, I seen a very small presence of 1%ers. Now, of course, they had the 2 stores. They had one at Al's I seen there in front, and their bikes were sitting out front. There was like 4 bikes sitting there, and there was another store downtown, real close to the dungeon. Didn't even see that store. We walked by there several times, but I didn't see it. But maybe they didn't have as much on the outside. You had to go in to see what they had. Once before they had like a window, had some jewelry or something over the years. But usually you see a lot of them walking up and down Main Street and stuff. And we were on Main Street at least 4 or 5 different days during the rally. Didn't see any. Didn't see any groups out riding when we were riding that were 1%ers. I seen a lot of motorcycle clubs, but not 1%ers, So, which,
And we saw a lot of guys together. They weren't necessarily in a motorcycle group, but they were a group of guys that were outright.
And it is, what we talked about the other day on the channel, it is actually the area that you're in South Dakota. It's the Sons of Silence and the Banditos. It's their area. You don't really see the Banditos very often. And then so the HA come in, they ask permission to come in, and so it's a courtesy to allow them to come in. So it's not really their territory either. So I don't know, with those 2 other guys that came in, I've seen stuff on the internet. I never seen them. I don't know where they came from. Don't really know anything about them, and I really don't care. We're talking trash or something. And once again, there's a lot of stuff on YouTube about the Sturgis Rally that's fake news that people are making up. There's a guy out there that was shooting a bunch of videos and saying different things on different ones of them. And it's like, he's not even telling you the other side of the story. He's just trying to do clickbait to get people talking and get you to say stupid stuff about what might have happened or whatever the case may be. We're not going down that road. We finally figured out, we didn't go very big this year. We didn't get a lot of views. We had thousands of people that we met. This was probably the biggest rally we've ever been to, that we had the most people recognize us ever. This was insane. It probably, once the rally started, it was probably like every 10 or 15 minutes, somebody was saying, "Bob, hey, Dan," and it's great. We have a lot, it got to the point where it was just overwhelming. It was just like, holy crap, where's all these people coming from? Because it wasn't that many views, but I think what the difference is with our channel this year was pretty much the people that were at the rally or coming to the rally were watching the videos. Now we have a lot of people, we have a lot of people that are watching for next year, and somebody wrote on my comments today or yesterday, I answered, that said, "Hey, I'm planning my 26 trip. I've already got my list of all the things that you guys were recommending, and I've already got it all checked off of what we're going to do." And we had so many people that came out the first time or the second time and said, "You made it so much more enjoyable because we figured out what we wanted to do and what we didn't want to do." And so that's why we do what we do. So we're going to change our intro video too while we're here the next couple of weeks, because it really doesn't, it talks about us RVing and all that. And really what our channel is all about is to give you the best information to make you have the best experience at the rallies that you want to go to. And that's what we try to do, because when we went, it was the same thing. We've always been like the rest of you. You're just kind of wandering around like, oh, okay, what are we going to do? Oh, let's go to Devil's Tower. Let's go over here. Let's go over there. And you really have no idea.
Or you hear the next day what something was the day before. It's like,
oh, there was a bike show I wanted to go to. Oh, crap. I wanted to see that. Well, it's over now. You ain't going to go see it, And so there's a lot of things that are going on that we don't cover every single thing out there, but we give you all the main highlights. Moving around most of the bars, the only one that really didn't come out was the Iron Horse. They never did come out and give us a list of all the things they were doing. On our Sturgis page, which is running along the bottom here, we changed the name for this year. I got it all right now. Last year I had the wrong year, I think in the right 85th, but 2024. So it's all right now. So you can see that going across the bottom. You can start planning. Also, if you still have clips that you want to put on or any information about what you thought about the campground you were at, that's what it's all about. It's about getting good information. Everybody be polite on there. Don't need to cuss at people. Don't need to make fun. We had a gay gentleman, I guess, that was on our channel. And everybody was gay bashing him and stuff. And that's not right. Dude's a dude. Let him do what he does. Yes, he's probably flaming. He's probably showing himself off to let you know that he's gay. It's kind of like when you go to a motorcycle rally, you really don't know who's Republican and who's Democrat, who's liberal, who's conservative, because most people don't really talk politics. And sometimes you don't even know when you talk to a foreigner. We met so many foreigners this year. It was really cool. People from all over the world came. We influenced a lot of them. That's why I do what we do. Because people always say, why do you do this? Why do you spend so much time? And it's just like, you've seen some of them on there. This year, we should have started earlier. We didn't start doing it to the last couple of days to thought, we should put some of these people on here. Because there's a lot of people that are putting on their Facebook page or YouTube and say, oh, look at these people I met. I would say at least 1,000 people, if not more, that has yelled at us or either said something to us or shook our hand, or we gave out all of our stickers. We have really nothing left. I need to order some more before we get to Ocean City. Yeah. So we probably gave out, I don't know, 2,000 or 3,000 stickers this go around. So a lot of them went out, and the special edition ones, I wasn't sure. I only had 100. I didn't know if they'd make it out or not. Some years we don't see a lot of people. And so this year we did. So we're back to giving out. We almost thought we'd have to go back to the old round ones that we gave out 3 years ago.
Give a couple of them out, the ones that had the flag on it. So Jake Rossi wants to know what was the best burger. I guess he didn't get to see that video.
Okay, so the number one burger ended up being, okay, let me back up a little bit about the burger. So the burger challenge lasted 7 weeks. So on the 8th week, before the rally started, I decided I want to go back and eat at the 3 that I think are the top 3. Because the very first one we ate at was Louis down there in Lee, and then we went to Sugar Shack next. Then we went out to Neighbors, I think, and then we had a bunch of them in between.
Yeah, we ate at every place we ate a burger.
And somebody's not fond of burgers. And so they were all bacon cheeseburgers, because there's a lot of places that specialize in barbecue, pulled pork on their sandwich, or crawdads on their sandwich, or fried egg, whatever it might be. The idea of this is making sure it's the same at every place I eat at. So that way it's a fair chance. So the whole top 3 all changed after we went back the last week and ate at them all within 2 days of each other. Then one place that we ate at during that day, we actually had 2 hamburgers in the same day. Yum, yum. Mm-hmm. Well, you didn't have the hamburger the second day. The second one we ate at, first time I ate there, you had something else. So, and then that one got thrown in. And then that's what she said. You said, I remember when we were there the last time, you said you really liked that burger. So we just ate there as an accident. So back up. So what did we say? Number 1 was the Sugar Shack. Why? Because when we grew up, we had a few places. We had one that was called Wainwright's. I was thinking in Worship, Missouri. It was called Wimpy's. Oh, yeah. And then
KW too, behind the high school.
Oh yeah, KW behind the high school. The only place you ate ketchup at.
Yeah, I don't know what they had in their ketchup, but that's the only place I've ever eaten ketchup.
Happy stuff.
I guess.
And so Sugar Shack was number 1. The bun's really soft. The burger's nice and juicy. You had to bend over, or you drip grease down your shirt. So that was excellent. And so it went to number 1. Number 2 is the one that came in from the back door that we never would have thought about, which was Cheyenne Crossing, right there at the end of Spearfish Canyon, right there at the end, where you would make a left and go towards Deadwood, or go right and go towards Newcastle. So that was that moved into number 2. The other great thing they had there was
the French fries.
They have the fries like my mom used to make,
homemade.
She peeled them, so there was no peels on them. She cut them up; they were nice and soft and hot, and that just topped it off. Well, she ate
Indian fry bread taco salad thing.
So she had ate that before too, and she really liked it. And so that was number 2. Number 3 was Louis in Lead. That came in number 3. Number 4 was Neighbors, which is on the way to Rapid City. It's on the right-hand side. What's the town is Neighbors in?
Sunset.
Now,
Somerset,
the Full Throttle Saloon had some issues, and you only could get the meat during the show, and we'll explain in the video why you couldn't. But they ended up not smoking the burgers, and we'll explain all that in the video coming up. And if we talk to Michael, that all should be taken care of next year. And when we get to the video on the Full Throttle Saloon, we'll explain all that to you, why things went the way they did. And like I said, we spent a lot of time there this year. It's more than we did anywhere else, other venues. We were already there in week 1. We were already out there and working with them on the food and all the different stuff. So
the chicken place was at Pectola Marina.
Yeah. And I just had somebody today wrote on there this morning, and they were talking about some of the things they did rides. And they said, oh, by the way, that was the best chicken at the marina. So
Matt, he said the same thing on here, Matt. It was Matt.
Yeah. So I have found nobody that said it wasn't the best. We had one guy tell us it was number 8. I'm like, what do you mean number 8? And I said, what's number 9? He said, well, there is no number 9 yet. Well, then it's the best at this level. I guess he leaves. Maybe he's one of those guys.
Grandma. His grandma's was better.
I don't buy that. He's just being nice to his grandma.
Big Whoop says he likes sweet potato fries. I like sweet potato fries dipped in honey or marshmallow fluff. Have you ever tried that? Put some cinnamon and marshmallow fluff and dip your sweet potato fries in it. Good stuff.
So this year, just if he's, it looks like this year, smaller campgrounds did a lot better than some of the big ones. Well, I'm gonna have to go back and look at the Full Throttle Saloon, or not Full Throttle, but the Buffalo Chip. I think they were down. He told me it was up. I'm not going to deny yes, he was or he wasn't. But looking through the video as we were driving through, because we drove through there like 5 or 6 times during that week, and I didn't see the crowd that I've seen last year there, or even the year we stayed in 2023 there.
Well, even when we went there the opening day, there wasn't a big a line as there normally is, but he said they had a lot of early comers. So.
But we'd already rode through there early. We rode through that day too. So you can see on the camera, we rode through that morning after we were through, because I thought, well, let's see all that's here. And it wasn't as big. Now, there's a lot of issues going on right now. Glencoe, a lot of people are starting to complain about Glencoe, because I think they're up to $389 or something for their passes now. And people, oh, that's not too bad. Yeah, it is. For a 10-day rally, oh yeah, it's only $38. 39. Well, then if you put 2 people with it, now you got to double that. Now, but I'm dragging my trailer in. I'm dragging all my stuff in with me, and that's dry camping. So you're bringing your generator, you're bringing you're bringing everything else with you, and it is getting a little high. In their case, it's the same bands they've had the last 3 years in a row. A lot of people there are very, very upset for years in the past. Forever. For at least the last 12 or 13 years, they always let the boondocking people, dry campers, always were allowed to come in the week before and party and have fun and all that.
Stake off their area.
Yeah. And then they, so this year they just, because typically what happens at Glencoe is by Tuesday, pretty much everybody's headed out. They had their fun on the weekend, and that's it. So I don't know how this year went. We have to call the main person that we know, Tony, that's always been there for a long time. So I know a lot of people are really upset about that because they wanted to charge. Yeah, I seen that. $25 a person for gry camping, which you're getting nothing for that, and just coming in.
Just a place to come in.
Yeah. So I'm not a big Glencoe person in the first place, but I see a lot of people on Facebook saying that's it, they're not going back anymore. And it's kind of like the buffalo chip. I've kind of see that same thing with the buffalo chip, that it's more of a repeat business customers. The people that are there, the people that come every year, no matter
Loyal
what.
customers.
And we have some of our subscribers that go there every year. They don't want to go anyplace else, and they're happy with that, and that's great. Nothing wrong with that. But it just seems like a lot of new people that go there. They go there a year or so, and they're like, that's not for me. What ends up happening, if you listen to Rod or Woody when he was talking the other day about meeting people. We have met groups like that, people that were never associated, didn't know any of those people, and today they've been with them for 20 plus years, camping in the same location there. They tented off or whatever they're doing, and they come all together every year. And so yes, it's a place where you can meet those great friends, and that you never had before, and today you got them, and every year at Sturgis you see them, and it's just a great time. And that's what Sturgis has that a lot of other rallies don't have, that it's really easy to meet people in Sturgis and go riding with them. You can come by yourself, and we've met hundreds of people that have come by themselves to Sturgis and had no problem. Not like they had to put a sign up saying, hey, I'm looking for somebody to ride with. And there's plenty of people you can talk to and say, yeah, come along with us, come along with us. It's like us. We had one ride, we had 17 bikes with us. Now, of course, they were all our subscribers, but we just told them the night before that, hey, we're going to go do this ride, and if you want to come along.
I don't usually find out until he says, okay, that's what I'm going to do. So then I have to hurry up and text everybody.
Which is fine. But I'm just saying that the point is that that's how quick the people came around to wanting to ride. And somebody else said that we should probably, during the rally, instead of doing all this, because we didn't really get a lot of coverage during the rally of really great things that's getting a lot of people to watch, that maybe we should charge and take people out on excursions every day.
They said
that I probably could make more money than I did
on YouTube.
Yeah. And
happy birthday, Brianna. It's her birthday today. Everybody say happy birthday to Brianna Richards. And Tony's was the other day, and then somebody else's birthday was just the other day. I don't remember who.
Heavy Ed.
Oh yeah, Heavy Ed's is coming up.
Somebody else's birthday is Sunday. Happy birthday.
I heard complaints about restroom availability. They didn't have enough porta potties. Some places have had that. Oops.
Some people were complaining about Kathmandu. Okay, so Kathmandu, the brand new owners, they just got here. They were there last year, this year, and it was a little more. They've never camped in their life. They've never been to a motorcycle rally. She's actually from this area. I think she lived in Spearfish. She grew up in. He's actually from the east coast of South Dakota. Got a big ranch. He's a rancher. He's got an auction, cattle and stuff. He auctions off. Don't tell him what else he has. There's a big giant house up on top of if you're looking at Kathmandu, looking up, he bought her a log cabin that so she could come back there whenever she wanted. And I think she wanted the campground to get him to move there permanently. That's my thought. So this year was a little tough because they've always owned their own odd houses, and usually they're two together all the time, and we've never had too much trouble with two together all the time. But this year he spreaded them all out. He put more out towards the boondocking area, where before the last owner never had any out there. Nobody's ever had any bathrooms out there. It was just too bad. And so there was some issues with that. There's times we went up to the bathroom up front, go in there and do your business, and there was already a couple people waiting in line. We're like, we'll just jump on the bike, we'll go in town. Oh, it's not that difficult. We were already going to go in town anyway. We just thought, well, we'll go there, make it easy, and we won't have to find a place in town. So it wasn't a big deal. But everybody wants to get up at 8 or 9 o'clock, and everybody's got their bowels move at the same time. I don't know why everybody has to do that, or they sit in there for 20 minutes waiting to go. You either got to go or you don't. Get in there and do your business and get the hell out. You don't need to go. Take a couple
Give somebody else a chance.
Yeah.
Get up and walk around the campground once.
And same thing, we take our showers at night. So before we come in, we didn't take much showers during the rally, just because we got back late.
Up at the campground, we took them in the trailer. Yeah, like we didn't take any showers. Whole 10 days, no showers. Not at the shower house.
We had shower in the trailer. Most of the time we come back and it wasn't enough time, or it was late, and it's like it's a long walk. So either we got to ride the bike up there, or take the truck up there, and the bar was pretty crowded. They had a good crowd all the time. We only got a little bit of shots of that. They had a couple good bands. Most of them were one-man bands. One guy had two people. They're pretty good. I like the guy outside. He had a guy outside. They had a big old fifth wheel, and I
think they've always had a fall rally, Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, Myrtle Beach has had it for a long time. I don't know how long, but they've had it for a long time.
Somebody told me when the dates were, and then Janice was
We heard today, which we got to make some phone calls. Next year, 2026. could very well be the end of the Leesburg Rally. Somebody called the Monkey Man and tell him. Heard it on the news today. They actually had a bunch of people from the city and saying that they lost too much money. Last year they lost over $400,000. I can't believe when Sturgis says they lose money all the time because it's a 10-day rally. This rally is really only
3 days.
Is it 3 days? Yeah, because 4 with it. So it's just Thursday, Friday. No, it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So it's really a 2-day rally. Sunday is just local yokels coming over, so which doesn't surprise me. They don't really make a lot of money in that time because they usually have some pretty good bands. They have just good bands as some of these other rallies have. And so because we had information that they had made 50,000 last year, but then I ended up finding out from this news report, which we have to call the lady that's in charge of Leesburg to find out what's really going on. She was thinking about skipping Leesburg next year. And now I'm thinking, if that's going to be last year, I definitely want to go next year and see how that goes. But we're thinking maybe the following year, if we're still doing all this, we're still looking at sponsors. Most of them kind of already agreed. We've already got a check. Somebody just sent us a check yesterday. We already got the money for Daytona for this year, so that's already here. So most of the vendors that we have that are our sponsors right now, I guess 4 of them have already said that they're coming back on board for next year. So Daytona is definitely in. We don't know what else after that is going to happen. There's other rallies that we're probably always going to be doing. Eureka Springs, Bikes, Blues and BBQ. There's also a chance if Leesburg would disappear, they have a thing called the Spring Fling. They've been wanting us to go for a long time. We also have another one. What's the one at Loretta Lynn's Ranch?
TMMR.
They want us to come back. We met him. He was at Sturgis this year and said, we need to get you guys back. What's it going to take to get you back? I said, it's just Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach, I'm not a big Myrtle Beach guy. It's okay, but it gets our second biggest viewership is Myrtle Beach, which I'm pretty much back to what we were doing before, which is all these other YouTubers doing, showing you all the excitement that's going on, talking to the girls, doing all that kind of stuff. It's pretty much every year. It's the same cycle that you're going through. There really isn't a whole lot. But I mean, we get really good viewership from there. So that's kind of why I do that one. But I mean, I don't know. We've kind of talked a little bit about Galveston this year. One of our subscribers lives not too far away and said he could put us up. He's actually got a man cave, he calls it. It's got a bedroom in it and a bar and all kinds of stuff that we could use it. Somebody sent you something there in the red box.
I don't know. I don't know.
Somebody gave you some money. Mogi, 1999. Thank you. For all the info would have been overwhelming without your videos. My favorite was Iron Mountain Road. I met a great dude at Rushmore with a cool emoji shirt. He gave me the shirt off his back after I asked for a pic. That's pretty cool. That's why I said the people that come to Sturgis and the people that live in that area is just a totally different crowd than what you would see at any other rally. The only closest one to this is Eureka Springs during Bikes, Blues and BBQ. It's very similar, not as good, but it's very similar style of people. What makes South Dakota so good is because, so you've heard us say it 1,000 times, it's truly God's country. The people that live there actually look at you when you talk to them. They actually acknowledge you. They actually want to help you, take care of you. We see this year, I've really seen it before the rally. I've never really paid that much attention because we're doing this burger challenge. So I was really looking at different things this year than I've done before, to where I started seeing that at some of the restaurants we went. And it's like, wow, this girl is here all the time. Can I fill this? Can you? Because typically when we travel these rallies, once we say we're done and they lay the receipt down, we never see them again. We could be laying on the ground dying and they would never come.
About you. You paid your bill, you're done. You're out of here.
And so we always say, oh, I'm thinking about dessert. And that way you keep coming back. You want some dessert? No, I need to refill tea.
Yeah, pizza and pie tonight.
Yeah, there you go. I had a big lunch today.
You did.
I had $9.99 at Perkins.
Burger, fries, and pie.
Yep.
So Shari asked, just curious, do you not have a bathroom in your RV? One of the best things about our RV is having our own bathroom.
We pee in it, but she will not. She thinks pooping in the toilet is disgusting when I have to clean it and drain it.
I wouldn't want to do it, so I can't make them do it.
Only if it was an emergency that we had to do it in the middle of the night. That would be the only exception to the rule. But we do pee in the trailer all the time. But we're out all day, so it's usually we go to the bathroom way more outside
than we do
in the trailer. In bathrooms, not outside behind the trailer. somebody behind us will be on the trail.
Talk about all the people wanting to be boys, girls, and girls, boys. I said the only advantage of being a guy is you can just go behind the building and pee. Girls can't really do that. Make a mess.
She ends up getting her pants wet. She might have just peed in her pants.
I should. I just pee my pants and I'll be done in it. Chip said, first trip here. I'm in love with everything. I had to move up here. Yep. So Chip lives up there in Rapid City now.
And it is. We met a lot of people this year that some of the ones we did interviews with said that they used to come to Rally all the time, and now they live there. And that's what they said. Now we don't know where we're going to go to have a good time, which is some of the people we know. One guy I think he goes almost every week. Pretty much does Iron Mountain Needles Highway every week. He goes on that ride, and so you never could get enough of it because you always see something different each time you go, and especially if you're riding the bike, especially when we had one person that said they got out there at 6:30 in the morning, which I wouldn't really recommend that early just for the facts of deers and all that running around.
Yeah, because they're out early.
And but they said there was nobody the whole time they did Iron Mountain and Needles Highway. Not one car or motorcycle ever was past them or even in their way, which would be nice because then you can go slower if you want to stop and look around a little bit while you're riding, which I normally would tell you never do that when you're doing any Iron Mountain or Needles Highway because that's how you kill yourself or somebody else. Your passenger can look around and see what's going on. Do the pull.
Those little turnoffs are go out and
it's also to get out of the way of people.
It is, but I mean, if you really want to see the beauty of the Black Hills, I mean, it's cool to ride the ride. Maybe you could ride the ride, and if you go again, then stop at every little turnout and then just look around and just God's creation is just amazing.
And it's a cool thing. We seen a giant over here in Utah. Was a giant. I'm assuming it was. What you think that animal was? It was on the side of the road.
You said it was a longhorn sheep.
But it had the curls. But I mean, this thing was the size of a horse, and a semi hit it, and it totaled the semi out. It was because I'm like, wow, what happened to the semi? All these lights and stuff were on, and it must have been right around Salt Lake City.
Yeah, right before.
And so I pulled over, and I was like, she didn't see it quick enough, but right in front of the truck is this gigantic thing laying on the side of the road. Looks like they drug it off to the side. Police car out there, a tow truck out there. I had to move that damn thing with a tow truck, but it was gigantic. It was like it looked like the size of a full-grown horse. And all I could see was it was kind of rolled up, and then I could see one of the horns. It was gigantic. So it was too big to be a mountain sheep or mountain goat.
A ram.
Could have been a ram, but I mean, I didn't think rams were.
So Brianna says, I love how we went from talking to food to poop.
There you go. That's how it all ends up.
It comes in one end and goes out the other. That was our dinner table talk. We talked about everything at the dinner table when the kids were little. And what goes in must come out. Since the 1940s. I don't know what we were talking about there. It had some big, too. I don't know. I admit that the deer scare me. Last winter, we drove home from Hill City in the dark, and a giant herd of deer were running across the road. We had to stop and wait in the dark. Yeah, better deer than the buffalo.
So we did have one of our subscribers that actually hit a deer. It was a small deer on the way back to Deadwood. They kept the bike up, but it bent in their crash bar. So they kept the bike up and scared them. I don't know if he's on the night or not. We won't say who it is unless they want to come on and say who they are. But it is, anytime you take yourself out, especially like this year, there was a lot of bikes. I have never in my entire life of going to rallies, even going to Sturgis for years, I have never seen so many bikes in the Black Hills, ever.
I think a lot of people came to ride, not to spend money.
And I have never, ever seen this. It was like we got on the 385, and it must have been thousands of bikes past us. Probably just in like a couple of miles, it was probably close to 300. It was groups like 15 or 20 guys. I'm assuming guys. They could have been some girls mixed in there too. Some had helmets on, some didn't. But I mean, they're flying past. I'm just kind of getting it. And some of it I catch on camera. I don't keep it on the whole time. But I mean, I've never, ever seen that many. Downtown, you see that. This year, we did not see the large quantities of bikes downtown compared to what there used to be.
Although Main Street looked full of bikes, and even they opened the street.
That's part of our thing that we're going to be talking about. So we're going to explain to you why and that's going to be coming up in the video. I'm going to explain to you why we know what we know based on what I filmed and what I dealt with the time that I was there. So some of it, if you really paid attention to the videos, you already know what I'm going to say because you would have seen that already because a lot of it was already there. So we'll see what happens. We heard a lot of different things about some of the bars. They said Loud American was charging $10 for beers. So in turn, people were dropping a 10 down, but they weren't leaving tips. So we heard that. We also heard there was a couple other big campgrounds that were really slow, that their bartenders and people said it was low tipping and not very many people in the bar. So we seen a good crowd always at lunchtime. You know, the Knuckle and Loud American and all them all had a good crowd when it came to lunchtime or dinner time. But it's the rest of the day that was kind of quiet. We got some sales on some of them. Most of the people, which we would say that most of them had as little less than 10% increase from last year. This is 85. You know, some of them said
it was a big year.
Yeah, everybody was expecting not expecting the city was. The city was expecting 75th prices or numbers. But I already told them in the first place because all rallies are down. But this rally was definitely, we had more bikes here this year than we've had in the last 9 years. We're not going to the 75th, but we're going from there on. And we've been to a lot of those rallies. We've been to the last 7 rallies in a row. Before that, between the 70th and the 75th, we probably went to 2 or 3 rallies during those years. So we didn't go all the time. I didn't go to the 75th because I knew it was going to be crowded and I had no interest in all that of sitting in traffic and idling my bike.
The 74th, we did that. So I can only imagine how the 75th was.
So things have changed. People are always, there was a big talk that everybody's talking about. How are we going to get younger people? Just like Leesburg talking about. We just talked to Arizona Bike Week yesterday about us. They wanted to sponsor us for next year, give us a place to camp and all that. And that's what she said, that, you know, how are we going to get these younger people involved? I don't really have an answer. My one answer was, which I talked about before, is give free riding training. Get these people, get them licensed to ride their bikes. So that way, if nothing else, they got a license. Maybe they go out and do some demo, just like her. She quit riding for a while after her motorcycle wreck and all of her ailments. Then when we started doing these rallies again, she got the bug again, and you know, she rode some demo bikes. And I'd really like to have a bike again. So that's what we're getting with the Sportster. We actually might have a Fat Boy Low. They traded one in at Sturgis, but they have to do this checkup all the time. So we'll have to see what the price is going to end up being and if we can get her bike sold. And then we'll have to get that bike here and do some stuff because it's black and she wants different color. It's got 8 bars on. I got to get it back down to a normal size. Maybe see about getting a fairing on it. I don't know what all we'll do to it.
We'll probably do a video on that coming up. This is just Rod talk about this ticket sales, which they don't sell tickets for concerts. They sell camping passes.
So he's already on the video yesterday that thanks everybody for coming out and talks about the rally, what he's seen and everything from his point of view, what he's seeing. Prices, we don't know yet. We called him today, he didn't answer. So he'll probably call us tomorrow morning and talk to him. But I mean, a lot of times like this, everybody kind of sits back a couple weeks and starts looking, you know, let's figure out what we got done for this year. Let's see how much money we got. Let's figure out how everything went before they start planning for next year, because the numbers aren't totally in yet for everything yet. You know, a lot of the businesses are there. They know what they sold in parts and stuff like that, but then they got to go back and buy. Like one year, Speeds was like that. They came up and said, wow, you know, this is the best rally I've ever had at this event. Then the next time we seen him at the next rally, they're like, oh, it wasn't so good. And we're like, why is that? And they said, parts jumped like 30-40% more than we bought.
So their profit margin, even though they did a lot more, their profit margin was a lot less because the prices went up.
So that's you know, that always has an issue. One sexy biker chick, she started off really bad. The rally was way down and ended up being, for her, it was last weekend ended up picking up. Now, city's actually talking. We've seen some of the people on Sturgis on the news and stuff before we left saying that they thought the second weekend there was a big crowd of new people coming. I've seen a few trailers pulling in the campgrounds. We had one behind us that showed up Thursday or Friday. Yeah. They came in
right next to us.
And they left before we left. So they left on Sunday. So they must have got there Friday and left on Sunday. So yes, there was a few people that came in, but typically that's why I told the city, why don't you take Friday, Saturday, and Sunday and throw it on the front end and screw the last weekend. And I told the same thing to Rod and also to Michael Ballard. I said, why don't you drop Saturday's entertainment or Friday's entertainment and put on a Wednesday and Thursday, put some bands on for pre-rally. We're getting more and more people are coming in for pre-rally. And because a lot of people, it's like we used to. We came in on Thursday, left on Thursday. That's the way we always did it. I wouldn't be there now if I didn't have a YouTube channel. We would leave on Thursday too, because once it comes to Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, there is absolutely no reason to be there. Weekends are always bad anyway. I always tell everybody that over and over and over. Don't come out on the weekend and expect to do any riding. It's just everybody's out. You got tourists out. It's just, we don't do anything like that on Saturday, Sunday. You know, we might go out to spearfish and go to the lodge or something like that, or we might go over to Deadwood because we're doing something in Deadwood, but we didn't go as a ride. We went there as the destination and we rode the bike because that's the only place you could park anything. If you ain't got a motorcycle, you ain't go park in Deadwood during the rally, unless you're in a hotel there. So it's definitely different. So this year we did things a lot different than we did last year. Mainly during the rally, we didn't give you the girls and show you all the things. Like I said, we never even went around and looked at the vendors. Yeah. We never made it out to spearfish during the rally to see the vendors they had out there. We drove by there, but we didn't stop. And then dealership, we only walked a little bit around just the main entrance there, and that was it. We went by Ciro and Rick Rack and showed you the tent and went inside the store. Other than that, that was really about as far as we went. Kind of walked around before a pre-rally and seen the trucks, typical trucks there. We wanted to talk to Dark Horse, but we didn't end up thinking about that until the rally was over. Then we did go to the other side, but I mean, same thing. We didn't get to go talk to the Fair and Exchange. We usually talk to them. And one night we went over there, they were already closed up and gone. We talked to Adam a couple times, and we talked to Ben from
Wide Open Customs.
Does the fairings and stuff for all kinds of bikes. You've seen that on the new video that he does Yamaha, Kawasaki's, Hondas, all kinds of bikes you can get.
Unfortunately, Rowan, we do not like seafood.
Yeah, we're not seafood people.
He says if when he brings us over there, he says, "Oh, I hope you guys like seafood. They've got the best seafood in the world." Yeah, tried it. I can't do it. So Janice said Neil got his cast off yesterday, so that's good.
So we haven't talked to him yet. I don't know. Apparently, his leg must have not been, because for having a cast on for just a little over a week, that's really weird.
Neil
I don't know.
Broke his ankle, so lower leg, his
so I don't know
tibia.
But you think the cast would stay on for 3 months?
Well, I would think the way it looked in the X-ray that he showed me that they would have had to put a rod in it. So I don't know.
Don't know. So I see he's planning on coming out next year. He's thinking about a trike, and he's looking at a trike and stuff, which is probably a good thing for him to start thinking about.
Yeah.
You know, because we all get older, and you know, it's a little harder to hold up the bikes, easier to drop them, things like that, especially in traffic and stuff, and just something to think about. But yeah, everybody's different, and which there's a lot of trike sales. We were up at the dealership, seen a couple trikes being sold while we were standing there. So I no telling how many more they sold, because everybody's getting older and they still want to ride something. And at least a trike is still a motorcycle with an extra couple wheels on it.
Got one extra wheel. It's got handlebars at least. It doesn't have a steering wheel.
So. A lot of times it is a motorcycle. It just has the back end with car tires on the back. So kind of like when you was a kid, if you had a big wheel. Same principle. So something to think about and see how that all goes. And we got to talk to Boss Haas and their demo bike that they had to shoot flames out. They ended up, the transmission started having some kind of trouble, so they ended up quit driving it because they want to tear it completely up. But it's a demo. They had no intention. He built the Dragon as a bike for himself. Now, of course, after everybody sees it, they want one just like it. And you did see the other guy. That's one of the Boss Hoss guys that had his trike up to 160 miles an hour.
Crazy.
So if you really want a fast bike, instead of spending all that money on a 131 engine and all that, get you a freaking Boss Hoss and have something that's going to do. Because even with that 131, you ain't going to be doing no 160 miles an hour on it. And that wasn't even the top speed, he said. So
thanks, Alex.
Something to think about. If that's really what you want, is roar power underneath your legs. So that's all that stuff. So we're home right now. Like I said, we got some more videos to put out on Sturgis. We'll see how the viewership and stuff goes on that. We'll have our video with all the numbers. We'll talk about what we see, because they give us a comparison like for the last 4 years. And so we've got some of those basic numbers, but they haven't sent us the final yet. And the rubber band counts, I don't know how they've been giving out this information on the rubber band counts daily, where they said the city or the county has got to go collect them, take the machine back to wherever they're at, and then they get the numbers off them then. So I don't know where they got the numbers. But when you look at the numbers, it's around 30 or 40,000 people per day So that should make you think a lot right there. See, what the city does is they count abundant numbers every single day and they multiply. And so in 10 days, that's where they come up with 500,000, 600,000, a million people, whatever they come up with these numbers. So the odds are they're nowhere near what really is there, because if people are pulling off just to get gas, there's people that are, just drive through town because they're like, Panama City is a typical example of that. People drive through Panama City during the Panama City Thunder Beach Rally to Rubberneck, and that's all they do. Probably 100 times more cars there than motorcycles during the rally on Friday and Saturday. And these people are going nowhere. They are just, you could follow the cars. They'll turn down, turn around, come back, and they go back across the bridge, and they never stopped anywhere. So they're just coming down to see what they can see that's going on. And so there's probably people that drive through Sturgis and do the same thing. So you could have the same thing. There could be people that are riding a motorcycle down Junction. They make a left on to LaSalle, and they never stop in town. They just want to take a cruise down and see what's going on, and that's it. So yes, did they attend the rally? I would say no. I would say attendees are people that actually get off their bikes and walk on the street, because I don't do a traffic count. To me, that's not an accurate count. Because once again, we cross over these things, and sometimes we might do it a dozen times in a day, hit every one of those rubber bands a couple of times. And there's probably other people, and that's what they say about people that work there. There's a lot of people that work the food stands, or not food stands, but some of the booths. They go out and get food for their people that work there and come back and forth. They don't necessarily eat everything that's there. They might be bringing their own food and stuff in, and then wherever they're staying at, they're probably not staying in their, most of those vendors down on Main Street aren't staying in their booth. So
Brianna, I wanted to know what was the best part of the rally for us. I think it was just meeting all you guys.
It is.
When we meet all you guys, we don't get nothing done for the channel. That's the only downside of that. But it's a big plus for us.
I love the riding. That's one of my favorite things about Sturgis is which we get all that done. We got all the rides that I wanted to do. There's actually a ride we did that you don't even know yet. We did it and just didn't have enough time to put it up. It's a ride that you may not have taken. It's got about 5 or 6 switchbacks on it. And I just stumbled over it. I had no idea. We went out there to go look at something else. And then we thought, well, we're so close to this town. Let's just go into this town. Went in there and I'm like, well, this says if you turn left, it goes this way. Well, let's go down and make a loop. And we did. And it was like, holy crap, look at this. And I said, that was kind of fun. Then it was a good ride, nice ride. And so we still have to put that one up. Yep. We didn't get to go down and do the ride at
Moonshine Gulch that goes past it.
That makes a right there. I don't think it was completely done at the end because they were still hauling rocks down there, but I think it was enough that you could have drove on it, would have been okay. But I didn't do it. It comes out in Hill City. We found out the other end where it comes out at, but we didn't ever do it. It's about a 25 mile ride. Just depending. To me, riding on chat's not a big deal. Doesn't bother me. More trouble with Midway. If they would have left the stupid road alone, it was just fine.
When we got there, it was perfect.
Yeah. And then they kept dumping rocks, putting water on it.
And magnesium water.
And then around all the curves, it's all messed up. It's all jacked up at the end. It's like.
Yeah, that last time we drove on it coming home, it was just like all the way.
And so I don't know. They just really screwed it up this year, worse than it has. Usually sometimes it gets better towards the end of the rally. They made it worse at the end of the rally. We heard kickstands, didn't have a real big crowd there that was charging to get in. Of course, I get all the wristband people come in for free, but for pay crowd, we heard it wasn't as
successful as they wanted.
Yes. They were expecting 1,000 people extra. Well, I don't know how that place would even hold 1,000 people, but that was their goal. So I thought if they were selling $28 tickets to get 1,000 people, they got $2,800 out of them. But if you got campground people there, which a couple hundred could be just campground people, they're watching the bands for free because they already get that with their wristband.
So G. Krause wants to know, how long does it take you to upload a video, and when you're in Sturgis, do you hook up to Wi-Fi?
Yes, we have a hotspot that we bring along. This year worked really good. We have a Verizon hotspot that I drag along with us. We also have a T-Mobile one that I didn't even bring out at all. Thinking about taking it back, but I haven't made a decision on it because it's only down to 10 gigs. And it was, I could have swore it was 50 or 100 before. And I think they took some away from me, so I might just adios that $50 a month. So we do that. So the way it typically takes me, I don't always count upload. So what I do is I edit a video. Usually by the time I download the videos, I got to take them off all the flashcards. We could have up to 6 cameras that we use during the day. And I put all those in files. And then I open up the timeline and I start putting things together. Average is about 2 to 3 hours to finish it. Uploading depends on the speed of what all you people are doing, because you all affect our internet. So sometimes it could be as quickly as 30 or 40 minutes. Sometimes it's a couple of hours. So normally what I end up doing is I'm really watching most of the videos a little bit. I don't watch all the way through, but I've watched enough to where if there's some people will say, why do you put so much music on there? One is if there's other music that's in the background, that's a copyright claim and I make no money. And I could get a strike, which I've never had a strike in my life. 3 strikes, you lose your channel. They take everything away from you. You get nothing. All your videos you made just disappear forever in no man land. So I've never had that. So I'm really particular about not getting gigged. I've gotten, this year we only had one, which ended up being when we were in Deadwood before the rally, Wild Bill days. The girl must have had, this girl was a really good singer. She must have had a song that she
released.
Yes. And it picked it up. Well, what I can do is, in this case, I just let YouTube take care of it. So you can go in there and hit 2 choices. One, you can delete it and take that little section out and gone, or you can pick a song that they give you like 6 songs, and they usually have nothing to do with what you want to play. And you can pick one of those 6 songs, or you could say no music at all, just total quiet. So I usually pick one of their stupid songs, and it takes them a couple hours for them to put that back in. And so usually there's enough time. So normally I'm doing a video. No, I'm not going to do one the night. Normally we do a video the night before. So I usually come in sometime during the day and I'll work on that video, and then it's uploaded by the time I get up in the morning. I can look and see if there's anything wrong with it. Now we did get flagged on a video. I didn't get a strike, but they one of the girls' bikini line was too close, and they said it was 21 and older. So that's the one with what's her name?
Karen?
No, the girl that usually wasn't going to come this year at the Buffalo Chip.
Oh, Gabby.
She was on it. It was great. I thought maybe they're going to give me for the thumbnail because she was really big and she did have a swimsuit on. And but when they actually gave me a little clip and said, if you look at this 1 second, this is what we gave you up. But the girl had a bikini on, and it's in the front, not the back. But it still was, it wasn't showing anything. But they said that was why they made it 21 and older. So that video didn't do very good for her being on it. So that today, that's what I was planning on doing, was taking that video, re-edit it, shorten it all up, and fix all that, cut it all out. And so it would be more people could see it. Because if you've got your computer set for 21 and nothing over 21, because you think anything over 21, you're going to see something. Well, you're still not on YouTube. But now people can do things and say they're gynecologists, video, and they can show you everything in the world, but they put on there that
training
or
for medical purpose.
But there's no commercial there. People aren't making any money, and I'm not quite sure why they would do it anyway.
So Road Glide 55 says he uses Starlink at Hog Rock Rally, and he said they had really good upload speeds.
So that's the part that you have to look at. Somebody told us the other day, which we were just talking about this yesterday or today, that somebody said that there's a Starlink now that's only 40 or 50 bucks a month that you can take along with you. You still got to pay the 500,000 bucks to get it, but you only had the 50 bucks a month. So we used to have a really good AT&T, but that was 130. So I used to pay a lot. I paid $129 for AT&T for unlimited. We had a Verizon that we paid $50 a month for, and then we have a T-Mobile that I paid 50 bucks a month for. That's just not even making a video yet. That's just
internet
service. So that's what, $225 every month just to have internet to go on, because you can't rely on campgrounds or anybody else that has anything. Phones you can't rely on because the phone does not have enough hotspot on it. Now, that's just the way it is. So that's the problem you run into. And we have sat at libraries before. We've sat places and uploaded videos. Eureka Springs is kind of like that. It's kind of crappy internet there. And I did a few at Pig Trail Harley, and I think we did 2 videos there and uploaded. They went pretty quick. But where we're actually staying at, it takes all night to do a video upload.
Yeah, so I don't know, we have to figure out the Starlink. Myron, Hair Farmer, says he'll see us in Eureka Springs, so he must be going to go. I don't know if that was him that was asking us about it or not. You've been on way over an hour.
Oh,
I know these chairs are not comfortable. No, go get your pillow. Yes. You said it was going to be a very short video. You're on 1 hour and 15 minutes.
Holy crap, Batman. I don't know if that's any better or not.
I don't know.
Yeah, any questions answered?
Yeah, we answered all of them.
117. Holy crap, that's a lot of people.
Shouldn't have looked at that.
Yeah. So a lot for us, not a lot for other people. Some people get like 1,000 people on or 3,000 people on their lives, and we're not that fortunate. And but I mean, I don't know. Somebody told us this time around that somebody was in marketing. They said, well, one of these, this might be your year that your guys are going to take off. I don't know. The problem is, which we kind of thought about today, we've got friends that we've met through YouTube. They actually have an RV channel, and they've decided about a year or so ago they were going to get religious on their channel. And they probably had about 350,000 people that were on their YouTube channel with the RVing. They got a little less than 200,000 now, that many people. And so that's what their point was, is, to make that decision not to do RVing, but they wanted to,
Spread the word of God.
Yeah. And they're not really, if you watch it, they're not giving sermons out or nothing like that. They built a campground, they got a church on it and stuff, and they're watching, what they say and talk about, how you should live and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, it's not, if you just clicked on it, you really probably wouldn't know they were a religious channel. But that's what they said. But I thought about that same thing today, because we decided, Amazon, I'm not going to pick on him, but I'm going to use him as an example. That when he started, we kind of helped him get going the first 2 or 3 years. He had his channel when he first started. And when we first met him, one of the rallies, I don't know if it was in Daytona, where it was, and we had interviewed him the first time, and he talked to us. And the next place we see him at, he's like, I got this YouTube channel and I just can't get it going. He says, do you have any recommendations that I could do? And I said, well, let me go back and look at your channel and we'll talk. Well, the nice thing is we see him at all the rallies, so it was really easy to go over there and talk to him, and I would talk to him about what he should shoot and what he should talk about and what he should, just different things. Just gave him some advice, and his channel took off. Once he got up to about 15,000 subscribers, we kind of just stepped back and let him do his thing, and then he's done pretty good. I think he's got 22 or 23,000 people now, so it's not bad. And he's done really good for his business, because probably 90% of the business he's getting is actually from subscribers now. They hear him, they talk to him, they want to come there and spend some money. Yeah. So
he's killing 2 birds with 1 stone.
So he's doing a great job doing that. But that's the point that you look at, is when he started chasing these, he used to chase the girls, get those back shots with those girls and all that stuff. And now he zooms in on the camera. He does his phone. And I'm like, do you really want to be that guy that the only reason they're coming to you is they want to see who you're chasing or who you're going after? And he's like, whatever it takes to watch, whatever it takes to get them to watch. And it's like, I don't want to be that. I don't want to be the only reason you're watching us is you want to see what girls we talk to at the rallies and all that. And it's like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go that avenue. I don't really want to do that.
We should promote our helmet giveaway or
raffle.
Well,
we'll stick it on. We can put the clip on one of the videos and do it. But and we're going to talk about the bike giveaway too. We're going to explain a video coming out soon. We'll tell you, if you're a veteran, how you can win the bike we're going to give away. And we kind of talked about it before, and that's just going to start up here real soon. And probably as soon as the rallies are all over, we'll give that away October, November, or something like that at the end of the year. So that'll happen. And we're working on another bike right now, getting another one, and we're hoping to get some more money, so we have enough money to buy maybe a couple bikes at the Miko auction and get those going and stuff. So things like that. But it's so then when I sit down and think about our channel, why we haven't, it's like somebody like Professional Monkey. We caught up with him, I don't know, 4 years ago or something, and we were almost about the same subscribers he's got, and then all of a sudden he gained like 75,000 subscribers in like 6 months. And don't really know how he did it, but he's successful did it, and he puts out really, I don't want to say they're great videos, but he's got great people watching those videos. He's got really good content. I just seen one he put out a while ago. It's only been on an hour and already had like 1,800 views, and that's excellent. He's getting a very good viewership, which we are picking up some younger people this year, or this rally here. I noticed a lot more 40-ish year old people. Typically we're about 50 and up is what the majority of my group is. And we're starting to get some 40 and up, actually, like 12%. So that's a big jump, because before it was like 2%. So we are getting some younger people interested in what we're talking about. And so I don't know. We look at all this, and as long as we keep getting sponsors to help us out and get us to the rallies on the East Coast and stuff. And some people talk about, we're not going to be one of those YouTube channels that are trying to get sponsors and all this. If they're selling stuff, they're making money. And because if you go down there and there's a link for you to click on, and they're going to make anywhere from 10 to 25% off of everything you buy. And that's the way it is. And if you go to the Amazon page and you click on it, and anything you buy from Amazon that day, not off his website, they actually get credit for that. So actually, if you go to our Amazon page, every time before you bought something on Amazon, we would get a commission off of what you bought. So that's just a trick that a lot of people do around Christmas time, which I always forget about that at Christmas time, to get people to daily to put a video out and say something about something on YouTube that you can click down here that's on Amazon. And then that opens up that window for the whole day. So that's why you see that around Christmas time. So many people have those sales and stuff, even though maybe you didn't buy anything, you clicked on it to open up the page that gives them credit. So a lot of people are making money that way. A lot of people are getting a lot of free stuff. They're getting motors and slip-ons and all kinds of stuff on their bikes. And once again, they're talking great about it because it's free. And if they really had to tell you their honest opinion about it, they probably wouldn't tell you. So you got to take everything with a grain of salt when somebody says that, which we're really honest about what we did. My first 3 years, we paid for everything. The only thing we've ever got free is our stereo system on the bike, the Rockford Fosgate, which I looked into that. I probably could have got something the new updated, and I never did go around to talk to them. Our digital gauges, I've been looking at digital gauges for probably 20 years. I wished I would have bought them 20 years ago, because I love my digital gauges for anything 23 and back, because you can't use them on the new bikes. They already got all that stuff built into them. But I love that, and I guess that's about it. Other than that, we don't look. I get stuff all the time, electric bikes and this and that, and somebody wants to work with us and stuff like that, and I'd rather not do that. So our sponsorships are I'm not like somebody's going through, like the other day we heard that an organization gave this guy $100,000 to do an event. We have nobody giving us that. We're between $1,000 and $3,500 is all it costs to be a sponsor of our channel. We actually have some subscribers that actually sponsor us and to help us out, and that's great. We appreciate all that, but it's the idea is to get us to those rallies. We're not looking to get rich off of this. Right now we've made a whole whopping for the 8 weeks we did this, 9 weeks, we've made $3,500. So
I wanted to know if Ocean City was our last rally for the year.
Nope. So Ocean City is going to be in 27 days when it starts. We arrived that Tuesday before. So really 26 days we'll be in Ocean City. And then we stay till Sunday. Sunday we go back to
Monday we go back.
Monday we go back to Baltimore, because that's where we fly in at. And then we stay all night, and Tuesday morning we fly to our daughters. 48 days from now is Bike, Blues, and BBQ. We will be there probably in about 40 days. We'll be there. And then from Bike, Blues, and BBQ, we drive back to our daughter's house in Kansas. And then we're going to stay with her about 2 or 3 days. And then we fly to Biketoberfest. So we'll be in Biketoberfest in about 55 days. We'll be in Biketoberfest. So there we go. We got Ocean City, Bikes, Blues, and BBQ, and Biketoberfest. That will wrap up the year. So we're actually going to start and end in the same place, in Daytona.
Yep.
So come join us in Daytona, see ending for the year. Like I say, we've already pretty much got enough sponsors that got us to where we already got Daytona set up. I'm going to go ahead and book some tickets, because we're trying to figure out what we're going to do with Leesburg. I was thinking about because the place we usually stay in Leesburg is not going to be there anymore. We had a campground that we used to get a free trailer rental every year. So the last 2 years we've been using that free rental. Well, the 5th year was last year, so it's gone this year. It's gone. So now we got to pay for something to go. So I just don't know if it's worth it to do it. We could do Spring Fling at the same time, and they would sponsor us to get us there and give us a bike and to do that. So that's a thought. Panama City, I love Panama City, but once again, we have to get a hotel when we stay in Panama City. We don't have a bike unless I have my bike shipped out again. Then after that, it's Myrtle Beach. For instance, we ended up riding up with All About Customs, and he's no longer going to do Myrtle Beach. He just doesn't see the money there anymore. I feel sorry for vendors. Speeds usually does pretty good, and I think because they're down there in Myrtle's Inlet. And Rick Rack always seems to do good at the dealership. But most of the other dealer vendors really don't do that well in Myrtle Beach. Amsel Adams been up and down. He's had some good times and bad times and okay times. And
I don't think they're going to do the fall rally in Myrtle Beach anymore, is what I thought. I might be mistaken, but I think that's.
They want to do that Smoky Mountain thing.
Yes.
And people have asked me about that. I'm not interested in that right now. They've had 3 years, and the first year, of course, there wasn't hardly nobody there to start with. The second year, they had a hurricane, and in the third year, I think it rained like hell. And so they haven't had a real good. I don't like new.
This will be the third year coming up in October or in September.
So I'm not into really checking out new rallies because it's a growing spurt. And what's wrong with all this, and everybody argues with me all the time, and the same thing just happened with Leesburg, thinking that this might be their last year. And you start looking at a lot of these cities, just like Sturgis, if they keep losing money, which we sat down with the mayor and talked to him, we're not going to go over all that, but to try to give them some ideas on how they could make more money. There's places that they're not taking advantage of that they should. And they're more worried about what somebody will say, not what you're going to say. And there's a lot of people that's out here complaining about the prices of stuff like this. Have you ever been to Disneyland? Have you ever gone to a ballpark, a national ballpark, or gone to a major football game, or basketball game, or maybe go to Hawaii?
Go to a concert. Go to the movie theater.
Have you done any of that? I don't know why people think this all the time, that Sturgis, I should be able to go in there and get a hamburger for $1. I should be able to get 50-cent beers. That's what they sell normally. Well, they don't. They don't have 50-cent drafts there. They don't have dollar drafts. You have no idea what they normally sell their beers for because you're not there. You're not going to find a beer at one of those bars under about $4 or $5 even right now. That's the way it is. Even at the Vets Club, they're $4 or $5. That's their normal price for beers. So they don't have dollar drafts. They don't have $1.50 drafts. I don't know where people come up with this. Yes, the hotels do kind of screw you, but you can look around. There's somebody right now on our Facebook page put it up that there's a hotel that is in Rapid that's renting rooms at $80 a night. He already booked his. They still got last year's rates up.
You can also go. There's colleges. There's one in Spearfish, and there's one in Rapid City.
2 in Rapid.
Oh, 2 in Rapid. Well, anyway. You can stay there, get a dorm room. Now you have to share a shower. It's no different than staying in a campground and going to the shower house, the shower and the bathroom. But I think those are very reasonable.
Yeah, I've seen some that the whole rally was $500. So there's
not. He's 77. Where does that leave him? With the rest of us, we're all getting older.
Well, once again, is what I said is come early. It's just like us. We're there. I don't know how early we'll come next year, but we were there this year, June.
9th we got there. What did that say? Monkey had dollar bears. It's got a 1 and then a dollar sign behind it. Maybe it was $15.
I don't think it were $15. They weren't dollar beers.
There was a lot of places we passed that had $3 and $4 beers.
Yeah. Well, there was one down in Deadwood. Was it Deadwood or Hill City that had a sign that said $1.99 for beer?
And if you have a pass to get into the Buffalo Chip down at Woody's Watering Hole, they're $1 beer. Yeah. $1 hot dogs.
From 10
something to eat and something.
No, the hot dogs they had taped over. So the beers were $1 from 10 in the morning till 5 at night every day. It's Coors usually, but hey, $3 beer, you can't go wrong. But I mean, you gotta look at, But I'm just saying, I have the same problem with people that say, "Well, I used to go on the rally. It ain't nothing like it used to be." I always want to ask those people, they're always online, so you can't really do that because they're not going because they don't like. What's different? Well, it's commercialized. What's commercialized? Main Street. So if you came 20 or 30 years ago, what was on Main Street that attracted you there in the first place? Oh, it's not like the campground over there. There's a lot of places you can go out. There's people that's got tents in their front yards, and there's There's all kinds of different places. You go out to the national forest and stay, get all your buddies and stay out there. There's some rural campgrounds out here that you can get some ground. You go out there to Kathmandu. They got a giant field out there that you could bring thousands of your buddies and camp. So, and nobody's telling you got to come in the main street. Nobody's saying you got to go to concerts. Nobody's saying you got to buy anything at the vendors. There's people we've talked to that come to the Black Hills during the rally and never see any of that. They stay at Hill City, they stay in Custer, places that don't have vendor trucks and all that, and they ride every day. But they're there during the actual Sturgis rally.
And they go back to their campsite and they pick something to eat and they have a few beers and go to bed and get up in the morning and do it all over again.
That's right. And so when people say it's not the way it used to be, oh yeah, we're not sitting in the park getting stoned doing LSD and it's so screwed up that we don't even know what day it is. We're not even riding our bikes anymore. Or, some people go, well, it used to be about racing. Were you at the race? There was less than 300 people watching the races this week during the rally. It was really poor attendance, which is like that everywhere. Nobody goes and watches flat track racing. Nobody's watching the hill climb. A handful of people are coming out and looking at it because you're too busy drinking beer and watching concerts. That's what it's all about. And that wasn't the old days. The old days, they didn't have concerts. They
said they didn't even remember if there was any bars in town. A lot of people we talked to that used to go in the 70s. And
used to stay at the park. And so it's when people always say that, it's like, you don't even know. Which is what some people do say this on the internet. You make the rally what you want it to be. Now, yes, you could go to Daytona. It's been around a long time. Or you go to Laconia. It's been around for 100 years. And you might be thinking, what's different from that today than it was 100 years ago? That's what they say about Camp Zero, which I'm not a Camp Zero guy at the Buffalo Chip, but they said they made that for the younger people. To me, I don't see the average person playing biker games. They do it at the Rat Hole in Myrtle Beach. They do a little bit of it down there in Galveston. They do a little bit over at the Full Throttle Saloon. But I don't see people knocking people down to get to be in the contest. There's like 4 or 5 people, maybe if you're lucky on a good day, that want to participate. Even if you're doing a keg roll or whatever you're doing, biting the wiener or whatever you're doing, I don't see people today doing that. Now, if you're an old school guy, come on out. You can probably be the first one to do it and have no problem maybe winning. Maybe you'll get you a couple $100 for doing it, winning the prize, whatever they're giving away. But once again, I don't see a lot of that.
So McGee said some Verbos and Airbnbs seem to be great, but they have a 2 or 3 mile rutted dirt road with switchbacks up and down hills. Sometimes something to think about if one isn't too skilled at slow, tight turns on dirt roads.
And you should always use Google Earth. That is a great source that you type in the address and you look. Google Earth will show you that's a rock road.
Yeah. And it'll show you if it's twisty.
Yeah, so you're getting the satellite view. Now, it may not be 100% current today, but it was probably taken within the last year. So you get a good idea of what it looks like. But people just, when we used to first started going out, we stayed in somebody's basement, and I was scared to death that when we pulled up, we paid half down, had to pay the rest when we got there. I was really afraid that I'd knock on the door, and the guy says, "Who the hell are you people?" And it was us two and my buddy Art. And he's like, "Hey, welcome." And I was like, "Oh, I feel better." And I did everything. I Googled the guy's name. I found out where he was working at. I looked at his house on what was available back then. This is early 2000s, and not as technology that we have today. Because there's a lot of stuff. There's scams out there. We've known some people that actually somebody we knew was scamming a bunch of people, saying he had rental properties and nobody knows where he's at. Last we heard, the FBI was looking for the guy for felony charges. But, we never got scammed by it. But that's always a thing that I worry more about, especially now with us doing hotels. Last year, I booked pretty much everything either on Orbit's site or I went to Best Western, where I've got a membership through them, and booked them through there. So it was about the best prices I could find. And we found we're in Daytona. We stayed for 10 days. It was a new hotel. The walls were paper thin. It wasn't too far from the action. It was $100 a night. Clean shower, king size bed, ground floor.
The crazy thing was it had like a kitchenette in it, but had nothing in there to use. No no utensils, no plates, no nothing.
They'd run them to you.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, I don't. And they said, well, this is like for an extended stay. So most people bring their own things. And I'm like, okay.
But I mean, that wasn't bad. We stayed in.
It was just weird, I thought.
When we stayed in Panama City, it was just a little over $100 a night. We only stayed during the rally. I think we came in a day early and got there, and we left the day it ended. So
Sunday.
Yeah, so so there is good deals, but you can't wait to the last minute to look. So I go, let me pull my phone up. We'll do a quick Orbitz, see what's available.
I need to get some more to drink
during the Sturgis Rally. So let me pull up my Orbitz fan thing here. I used to always kind of worry about Orbitz, but we used it last year, and I had every room was just like it said. They didn't charge us any extra. Didn't stay. Now they may not go this far. Let's go. We'll put Spearfish down. Spearfish, South Dakota. Let's pick. Let's see if it'll go that far. Whoops. August. Here we go. August 7th. So let's say we'll be there from the 6th, and we'll leave on the 16th.
10 days.
Let's see what they give us.
Let's face it, if it's nothing what it was yesterday, nothing is. I mean, if you just think of 150 years ago,
we don't think that
cars were really not invented. I mean, they were invented, but not hardly anybody used them. Electricity, televisions, telephones. I mean, in 150 years, just think how old the Earth is. And even if you just say it's only 2,000 years old or 3,000. So in 1,800 years, or I don't know, it just blows my mind if you think how far we've come in just 150 years. Running water in the house. I mean, my grandparents didn't even have, they only had an outhouse at the farm because they didn't have any running water. They didn't have a sewer system. So that was in 77, 78.
So what I found is the cheapest thing I found. Actually, it's not bad looking. It's out at Aladdin.
Mm.
And
in Aladdin?
Yeah.
Mm. That's like a little.
Well, it looks like it might have been somebody's carport or something. I guess there's two there. Two cabins. It's got a pull-out bed, hide a bed. It's got a refrigerator, microwave, a TV. It's got two double beds or queen-size beds, or could even be king-size beds. And bathroom. It's looking outside. Full shower. Yep. Not like a camping shower. And it's $118 a day. And it ended up, what's the total price? $1,321, taxes and everything, for 10 days at the rally. Fully refundable, reserve now, pay later. Most of the other hotels that are available right now, if we go back, I could probably go into, let's see what we got in. A lot of them are houses that they're renting. $215 for a Sleeps 2, 1 bedroom in Spearfish. There's a tiny house. It's an entire apartment. It's $215, Sleeps 2, 1 bedroom. I only put 2 people down, so that's what they're showing me. So here's a Sturgis Rally house. Now they're wanting $650. It's 3 bedrooms. Washer dryer, 4 bedrooms, $675 a night. So let's go ahead and change this and put in Rapid City. Oops, there we go, Rapid City. Same days. I usually always say Rapid City sometimes is a better. See, mostly right now is houses because most stuff doesn't come available till around the first year when you find. So let's go that route, and we'll put Daytona down. Daytona Beach, and what's the dates of the rally? Let me get back down here.
Do you want the Biketoberfest?
Yeah, Biketoberfest.
The 16th through the 19th. Oh, there's some more people talking. Sorry. I'm watching him and not you guys. Gotta run. Thanks, Bob and Tam, for the great info and the recap on Sturgis. I really enjoyed your videos. God bless and safe out there. Love you. Love you too, Janice. Good night.
So here's one that is a Symphony Beach Club. It's in Ormond Beach. Pictures look pretty good. 124 a night, $600 for the whole, coming in the day before. Says they only have one room left. I end up going through Best Western. We're getting the 3 nights that we're going before, or 2 nights. One night $79, the other night's $84 for Thursday and a Friday night before.
Bill says, I'm so old I can recall when Sturgis was named the Jack Pine Indian Hill Climb. There you go. You were there from the beginning, huh? Mark says, this year will be the 3rd year of the Smoky Mountain Bike Week. Okay. That's what I thought.
And so, like I say, I don't know. Well, the problem we have with rallies like that, for instance, is we have no connection there. We don't know the dealerships. We don't know anything. So coming in, either I have to bring my bike or we have to rent a bike or something, because that's the problem. You can't get around without having a motorcycle. No matter what event you go to, we're not going to drive a car everywhere we go. Florida, I usually end up with a car, because what ends up happening with Florida is I save usually about half the price of a rental car. So the rental car costs us about $400 for the time we're going to be down here. So we saved over $300 by flying into Orlando versus flying into Daytona. So for another $100, we get a car.
Yeah.
And what's the odds of it raining? We're going to be there for 10 days. So the chances is it's probably going to rain. Or if we need to go to the store, it's a lot easier to throw stuff in the car than it is to put it on a motorcycle, which we've done that. But the car always works a lot better. Just like that, a lot of times we do that with the truck. We're pulling the trailer. Sometimes we go to Walmart or whatever. We just take the truck and do our shopping and all that and get it all done in one load versus trying to pick and choose what you got, because we also got camera equipment and everything else I got in the motorcycle. So we're really tight with rain gear this time because there's lots of chances of rain, and jackets because it was cool in the mornings. So you already got what you do.
Says, he says, I forgot to tell you, I took out my rain suit. And I'm like, oh, great. Now it's probably definitely going to rain. So we're driving around like 2 days where he doesn't have his rain suit in the car or in the bike. So I'm going through stuff and putting stuff away, and I'm like, this is my rain suit. Yours was still on the bike. Thank goodness we didn't need it.
Somebody would get wet.
Anyway.
I thought it was mine. My intentions were good. But hey, it happens and it happens. But yeah, it's always something to think about when you go. But Sturgis, there's nothing wrong with getting there early, and going before the rally. A lot of times I tell people, come in just for the first Saturday, Friday and Saturday, because by Sunday, not a big deal. I said you can experience that, and there's so much stuff going on, just like at the Full Throttle Saloon. They were already cooking meat and everything for the 6 weeks we were there. Actually, 7 weeks they had started the Sunday before, and so they were already smoking the meat. It was out there for everybody to buy during their Sunday events they had. The city has bands every Wednesday night, free. They got jump houses. It's more of a family type ordeal, but hey, it's free music. You can go out to Deadwood on Wednesday nights. They got free music in the street. Spearfish has a thing on Friday nights. We never did make it there. I wanted to do a Friday. We never made it over there on Friday night. This year, coming up in 2026, we are going to do our 3 weeks 2 to 3 weeks we do in Rapid. We are coming to Sturgis. We are actually staying at a different campground. They want us to do some videos for their website. And I said, they really wanted us to do it during the rally. And I'm like, that's not, they want to advertise before the rally and after the rally. They don't need rally business because they're already packed. And so we stayed at this campground, and we gave them actually, I gave them the number one thing to do. Their name for their YouTube channel wasn't the right name, and I showed them their website. So we looked up the right name, and nobody had it. So you could pay somebody to get the name, and so they called the other day and thanked us they got their real name for what their campground's called, and why I think whoever set their website up did this intentionally, just picked what they have. It's an older couple that doesn't know nothing about the internet, nothing at all. And somebody else contacted us that we know and said, can you come over and help? He thought we could do some videos for him and that would help. And it's like, no, because they don't have nobody to take care of the social media. They barely have somebody that takes care of the website. But you can pretty much go on their website and book campsites and all that. So you don't really need, if you call, there's somebody there that's going to talk to you about the campground and all that. But it's a real known campground, been around forever. And people, they might have owned it from the original. I don't know.
No, I think they've owned it to
because they built all the cabins.
8 or 10 years or something like that.
And a very nice couple. And we'll let you know as we get closer to the event because we haven't decided when we're going yet. Kathmandu already said that they want us back. They loved us this year, and I think they had a lot of people came from us. And so yeah, all we had to do is walk at the bar, same thing. Hey Bob, there's Bob and Dan, Bob and Dan. So it's crazy there too. But yeah, every place, you know. And some people were complaining about the Full Throttle that on Hank Jr. night that it was a little tough getting beers, and some of the waitresses or bartenders were a little rude and stuff. It's like, you know, that I'll tell you that now. Hank Jr. was the biggest concert during the Sturgis Rally. The most people that they had. Hands down. And I'm not the only one. The newspaper said that. I talked to people from the radio. I talked to people that were at different events. Next year, we're going to do something different. We are actually going to go for the first 15 minutes of concerts and shoot audiences, because I want to have proof that I can say which concerts were successful, which ones weren't. Sometimes concerts are bad because the other place, like for instance, they said Gretchen Wilson didn't do very good at the Full Throttle. But over at the Chip, they had Nickelback. And that was probably their biggest night for Nickelback, but it wasn't the same crowd that they had at Full Throttle. Now, Michael Badler tried to say there were 60,000 people. There was no 60,000 people there. But it was a big crowd. We got video of it, and there was lots.
Brett wanted to know if there was any free admission at Full Throttle where you could see the concert from long views away.
Well, what ended up happening, what they did was, which we suspected this. So when you first in the main bar, there's a band playing and it's loud. You go into the patio. The first patio is free. They had DJ music and it was loud. So you could not hear anything. But what they ended up doing, the couple concerts that we were there at, is about halfway through the concert, they opened up the general admission side where you could walk down to where the vendors on the left were the pizza place and leather and all those different things. Also where the smokehouse is at. That ended up being open. There was nobody stopping anybody from walking in that area. So what the Full Throttle's done now is to get into the actual general admission, VIP and all that, you will end up having to go through that main entrance. So you would come out of the bar, go through the first pavilion, and in the center there's two pillars. That is going to be your only entrance into the stadium, to the auditorium, whatever you want to call it, concert venue. Both sides are going to be fenced. You will not. So that way they're going to stop you from coming in from the left or the right or coming from any other direction. You will have to come through the general admission to get to the VIP up front or get to the bridges or anywhere else. That is part of the plan for next year. They ran out of time. So there was people that ended up, if you were there really early, and those bars on the left that are underneath the bridges that have been there for years, I pretty much think most of those people did not have a general admission ticket because the fence went around those bars. So I think some of those people listened and never did. Hank Jr., if you were there, I didn't see him throwing anybody out. Now, they might have walked around in the general admission, that first area. They might have went around and checked everybody to see if they had bracelets. That I don't know. We didn't in the general admission very often, so I don't know. I know the VIP in the area up front, you had to show your bracelet every time to get in and out. So that I know. But if you were planning on going and hoping to hear the concert for free, you probably isn't going. Once again, I would probably, if I'm a concert guy, those are the two things I would do as soon as they come available. I would buy my pass for the Buffalo Chip, and I would buy my pass for Full Throttle Saloon. Because I'm going to bet money that there's going to be at least, looks like here, we would have, the concerts we would have seen at Full Throttle, I'd like to have seen Night Ranger. We ended up deciding to go see Jefferson Starship, which was at the Knuckle. That was excellent concert. A little loud, but it was really good. Did a great job. We would have gone Friday night and seen Night Ranger. Or was it Saturday night? Saturday night was Night Ranger.
Saturday night. Friday night, we went to Jefferson Starship, and that's when it rained and everything.
So then what do we do Saturday night then? Why we didn't go out and hear Night Ranger? I don't know.
I don't remember.
But I would have seen that. Second of all, then Sunday we did go see Hank Jr. The other concert, Gretchen Wilson would have been all right. I would have been all right to go hear that. She wanted to hear Pam Tillis and see the rodeo. We didn't go see that. It just got to be on Saturday. We just got tired.
We were exhausted. There's no way I was going to wait till 10:30 to see Pam Tillis.
So
as much as I would have loved to see
we
her.
probably could have got out there because we did have passes that got us behind the backstage before the show. We probably could have got back there and she could have met her. So there are some things I'd like to see. Now, looking at the Buffalo chip, Jason Aldean, which I argued with them why they had Buck Cherry open up for Jason Aldean. They said they tour together. I just can't see Jason Aldean coming out to Crazy, what after that. That's their ending song. Now, he said, well, they really were, I guess last time we heard them, they sounded really bad. And they said they were drunk and stoned and everything else. So this time it wasn't supposed to be. So after the concert, they said it was a really good Buck Cherry concert. We only really know one song of Buck Cherry. And so Jason Aldean would have been all right to hear. We wouldn't mind going to seeing a little bit of the martial art fighting. Bare knuckle fighting. I would have liked, we missed it last time. I would have liked to have gone and seen it this year. We didn't do that. Nickelback, a couple songs is all right, but I don't know if I want to sit through it all to hear a couple songs, and they usually play your best songs at the end. So I'm not a big Nickelback fan. Other than that, there was nobody else I cared to see.
Kiss.
We were thinking about going to see Gene Simmons, but then we heard all the stuff about Gene Simmons and what he said and all that stuff up there. I would have walked out anyway. So I was, I don't know. They said they ended up not singing any Kiss songs. So that would have been really disappointing because I thought that's what he would be doing. Because we asked if he, spit out the blood on his tongue. And they said, nope, didn't do any of that either. So I was like, well, that was weird. So there wasn't a big choice. We thought Damon, which is Rod's son, is who picked the bands. They emphasize Woody Rod picked all these bands. I really can't see that, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe Woody's a Marilyn Manson fan. He was out there banging his head back there in the 90s or 2000s, whatever the hell.
Might have been. I don't know.
Could have been. Don't know.
Rick says that Chris's Campground in Spearfish was great, and it was very quiet at night.
Yeah. I like Chris's Campground. We haven't been out there in years. We've never stayed there, but we kind of toured it and talked to her and all that stuff. And they're really great people, family-owned business. For us, it's just too far to go. I like to be centralized in Sturgis because that's really where the events are going to be in the Sturgis area. Deadwood's not that far away.
Spearfish isn't.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're going to go on rides, yes, that's why I would say if you're looking to do rides and you're not really that interested in concerts and stuff, Rapid City is the best place to stay. It's better pricing. You're closer to 75% of your rides are going to be on that side of the world. And if you only come to Sturgis during the day, then there's not an issue with, but if you want to hear concerts and all that, there is no buses that come out of, no way to shuttle. You could pay a fortune. We've heard the other day that the lady was talking about $400 to bring you during the rally.
Yeah.
Go rent a car.
Wasn't most of the general admission prices tickets for the concerts at Full Throttle over $100? No, because Jackal was only like 28, wasn't it?
Yeah. Jackal was 29 when I looked, but you could buy your wristband. Towards the end, the wristband was like $300, $299 or $399 for the whole thing. So that would be, but if you'd have bought it when it first came out, see, they start selling this stuff before they ever announce a concert. They're going to start selling wristbands. And so, the odds are you're going to have something you want to hear. But yes, I seen that. I think when I looked originally, there was no general admission over $89. Now there's taxes and all the fees and all that. That probably takes you up over that. But when they first started announcing people, because we didn't know at the time if we were going to get passes. We didn't know it. We had no clue. But we had no clue because they've never given it to us before. So we weren't looking for anything. So one of our sponsors was thinking about buying some tickets. One sponsor was thinking about buying us 5 tickets and giving them away 10 sets of tickets. 2 of them we would take, and then the rest we give away. And we were going to do a Hank Jr. party. We were going to do it up on the bridges. On one of the bridges. And the guy backed out at the end and decided he didn't want to spend the money. And so that's the way. And then we had somebody else that wanted to go buy us a couple of tickets, us and take another couple with us that they knew, and that didn't work out. So we were going back and forth on it because I looked at Hank Jr. and I looked at, I think Disturb was a little higher, but Disturb wasn't the crowd that
they were hoping
for. Jackal wasn't the crowd that they thought would happen.
Wasn't this Jackal's like 25th anniversary?
Well, see, Jackal, we seen Jackal years and years ago. We seen him down in San Diego, and it was an excellent concert.
A little bitty bar.
We'd seen him a couple times in Sturgis over the years, and we never seen him. Did we see him once at the old Full Throttle?
No.
I think we always left on Thursday, so we never did.
But we saw him in Panama City.
Well, that was after the fact. So we seen that after we started doing this. So we had seen Jackal because I remember sitting on those couches. Remember, I filmed the girls and they were doing stuff, and we were filming them. Yeah. So we did see that.
There with Tony and Judy.
Yeah, there wasn't very many people at that time watching them, and so we seen him also out in Panama City, and it was just awful. He kept turning up the music. It made your ears bleed. And we were sitting back at the back and finally got him.
And there were vendors. The vendors were outside.
Well, Adam said you could hear every word clear as day.
He was just screaming. And he kept saying, turn it up. And it's like, oh my gosh.
And so the last 3 or 4 shows we seen of Jackal was exactly the same. They played the same songs. He said the same stuff. And it was just like, we've got other artists like that. Kenny Rogers, she used to be a Kenny Rogers fan. We've seen him 4 times over probably a 30-year span. And the same first one and the 30th one was the same show.
Same songs in the same order and the same jokes. And it was like, are you kidding me? Because we went, the first couple were like within the first 2 years. And I thought, well, maybe he didn't change it. And then we went years later, like 10 years later, and it was the same exact show. And that just killed it for me because I loved Kenny Rogers. And I thought, I will never listen to another song that man sings. If he can't change something in 10 years, something's wrong with him.
And it's the same thing with ZZ Top. ZZ Top has no life to him. Even when they were all live, they are not showmen. They come out and play their songs, they spin their guitars, and they walk off stage and they're done. They don't say thank you, kiss my ass, play an encore. They don't do nothing. And for her, you might as well listen to a live CD because that's all you're getting.
Or listen to them on the radio. It's no different.
And so
Rick said the round trip shuttle from Spearfish to Sturgis was $5 there and back. So that's not a bad price.
So is that the bus?
I don't know. He didn't say.
Because the bus I know goes to Spearfish and it goes to Deadwood now.
Maria says Black Hills Station, Piedmont had the best prices around. I could find cabins, RV and tent camping, and nice pool. I'd like to take them for the 86. Quiet nights, awesome, and 15 minutes to Sturgis. Black Hills Station in Piedmont. Oh, that's probably where Neil used to stay.
I don't know. That's time they wanted like $2,500 for a cabin. So let me
best prices around.
I don't know. Let me look and see.
I could find cabins.
Black Hills Station in Piedmont.
Here are the listings for.
All right, let's see what kind of rates they got.
Cool seeing Jackal with you at the Ozark Bike Fest.
I don't know.
Oh, I guess we did. We saw Jackal when we went to Lake of the Ozarks. Remember, we got those tickets. We bought 10 tickets and we took a bunch of people. So Brett was one of them. And I think so was Dixie. And Dixie's husband is doing better, but still going. Eagle Eye, hello from St. Louis, Missouri. Thanks for reporting on the 2025 rally. That's our hometown, St. Louis, Missouri. So, hey there, Eagle Eye. Rick said yes. So it was the bus. And somebody asked something earlier and I forgot what it was. I was going to say it. I thought of it and now I forgot about it again. I don't remember. He's looking at the prices to see. Well, she got a deal. Because I don't know, maybe not all of their, because they didn't have bathrooms when Neil stayed there, did they? I don't think they did. And that's why they went up so high. Because Neil used to stay when it was Socorro Station. It was $800 for a cabin. And he was always telling everybody, go rent your cabin there. But it was for the whole rally. And then he would show up a few days early and he would help them kind of set up something. And then he got to stay those few days prior to the rally for free because he helped them set up. So what's it say? She said they had cabins, RV, and tent camping, and they have a nice pool.
Well, the tent camping was $50.
Up for the whole rally or just the
$50
night?
a night. Well, it's not, I don't know, it's not letting me. Let's see. This one says it's 90. Now let's say show me availability. Show
To say $90 a night.
I'm trying to get them to give me my total price, but
Mhm.
it's still working at it. Okay, jumped another price. Now it's $95 a night. So that'd be $950.
So Bart said Jack will be at the Kansas City Abate this year for the 50th anniversary in Kansas City. They had new shower houses and bathrooms and several around the campground.
Well, see, when we look at just like swimming pool. Going to motorcycle rally, that's the least of the concerns is the swimming pool.
Hot tub's a different story.
But how many campgrounds have we been at during the rally? Sometimes we never get in them.
Yeah.
So it ends up being you go to a rally, you're not really that interested. You shouldn't be. If you're there more worried about swimming pools and hot tubs and pool tables and all this different stuff, if you're going with a big group, I could see maybe something like that. But if I was going to do something like that, I wouldn't come during the rally. I would do the 3 or 4 weeks before the rally and come out when prices are a hell of a lot better, because you can stay at the Sturgis RV Park, walking distance to the downtown before the rally for probably $50 a night for full hookups. So there is some really good deals before the rally, after the rally too. But it's rally time that you have to look at. But it's like cabin. I don't know what their cabins are, but I think most cabins for a 10-day rental for 2 people probably going to run you $1,500 probably. It starts getting more expensive when you start wanting showers and all that kind of stuff in it. You start getting up around close to the $3,000 mark. Depends on what you want. Some people like that. Somebody wants to have a shower and a bathroom. And there's one of these cabins we looked at the other day. The guy wanted to rent them out for like weddings and stuff like that. And it's like, people going to weddings and stuff probably don't want to go to a community bathhouse. You really, versus them having a hotel room that has all their amenities in it for them. So it's depends on what you want. Some people here love staying in Deadwood because the wife likes to gamble all the time. So it keeps them busy. They don't mind paying $1,000 a night during the rally. But are staying on Main Street and paying $1,000 a night. People, there's people that want to spend that money because they want to get what they want. If you want something cheap, you go out to Drag Pipes across from
Full Throttle.
It's $150. I think is it 2 people? Is that what he said?
I think
150 for the whole rally for $150. You can tent camp or whatever. That's cheaper than $50 a night at the other place for tent camping.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem sometimes with swimming pools during the rally is if people have been out sweaty all day and they jump in the pool and you got 100 people jumping in the pool, it's kind of like over there at Happy Hoyle, which we ended up not making it to the pool. One, it was kind of cool, so we really didn't get that hot that we could have used the pool. But same thing, I would have gotten in the pool the first couple of days, but after that, I don't know if I get in the pool or not, because once again,
kind of like Bikini Beach, it's like,
yeah, it gets kind of nasty after a while. The filter just can't keep up, and I doubt if they're dumping, gallons of chlorine in it every morning to get it the pH right and everything. I doubt it. They could, but I doubt it. Because most places don't want to spend that kind of money. We were just in a campground last night in Las Vegas. Now the wind's blowing really hard. There was a lot of
pine needles
and stuff, that those things like with seeds with little furry stuff on the end of them to blow around. There was some of that in a pool, and but the water looked clean, but we weren't in there that long. Same thing we did. We worked all day, got all sweaty, we jumped in the pool.
That's kind of gross. But it was hot.
But people do that.
Yeah, it pulled us off, that's for sure. And then what happened? Did the air conditioner finally just start working?
I think what's happened is, I think they cover up. I think that box got hot. So when I was thinking about it, I think that was when it acted up before, when we were in park room. It was so hot. That's why I took the other one off. So I'm thinking that's
those easy starts aren't as great as they're cracked up to be. They don't like to get hot.
I've had 3 of them go bad, and I think now I figured out what might be causing it is it can't handle that over 100-degree temperature. It was like 107 yesterday, and it kept kicking. One air conditioner worked fine, one of them I took the easy start back off. Then I thought it was the power, and I kept switching out different stuff and doing this and that. And I thought, I'm just going to start the generator up and we'll let it run. And it did it on the generator, which the night before it ran fine on the generator. Yeah. So
it was just probably too hot. Didn't like that Las Vegas heat.
Yeah.
We're back home. It says, darn.
Did you forget some people?
Well, no, somebody had asked something, and then I thought about it, and I was going to answer it. And then I'm trying to find what it was. I can't remember what it was now. You said something. I'm like, oh, yeah, somebody asked about something like that, and I don't remember what it was now, so I don't know.
If she didn't answer your question, type it back in.
Yeah.
You're still there. People still on? 105. Lost a few.
So, but Annette said her cabins were $250 a night during the rally. That's what Road King 55 said. So that's Kathmandu. Yes, Chris's was $58 a night, electric and water only. Rallies was $150. That was cheaper before the rally. Thank you, guys. I mean, you really keep me for what I'm going through to the rallies. I really appreciate it. Thank you. You're welcome, Daniel. He's on a lot too. Graphics equipment. There's a lot of I-90 highway noise at Kathmandu when tent camping. Is there? Probably, because we could hear it in the
anything trailer. Along the highway there, you're going to hear noise. But what happens is pretty much when it gets late at night, you don't hear a whole lot of vehicles.
Well, the bad thing, not bad thing, it's a good thing. It got so cool at night, we turned the air off. If the air would have been on, we probably wouldn't have heard enough. But in a tent, you would. But
it wasn't bad.
I mean, and after the night or two, you get used to it.
Well, you bring earplugs. But I mean, it's every night I probably heard something go by, a truck or something go down the highway.
There's train tracks right there, but the train only comes at 10:30 and 3:30 every day.
They're hauling stuff back and forth from the mines
to Rapid City.
And so, so you really don't hear the train at night. But I mean, anywhere you stay there, kickstands, or the lady was talking about that other place, all those campgrounds along there. Days Inn is probably worse because they're right at the highway there. There you go. You could throw a rock and hit the highway. Where we're at, you'd have to have a base. I don't think anybody could throw a rock and hit the highway. Kathmandu. But so you're a little bit farther away.
And then what was that other one? Oh, there's that Tilford, the one by that one's getting bigger. It seems like Tilford Campground. It's right next to White's Lemonade.
But I mean, you're still along the highway.
Yeah.
So all the ones along the highway, you're going to get some noise. So pretty much all campgrounds are going to have some noise. Like for instance, like
More Shadows probably doesn't have Rush No More, whatever that one's called.
Yeah, that's back a little bit farther. That's probably a little more quieter back there. There's probably a few. There's another one, that Eagle Nest that's up there on the hill. You might not hear nothing there, but I heard a few people complaining about that there, so I don't know. We've stayed at a few of the campgrounds before the rallies. So if you're really looking for a quiet rally, because I don't even know if Chris's you could hear the highway. There's some trees, but there's not. Some of the people were saying the trees don't always necessarily cover your RV. So when we drive through it, we're not looking for the shade. We see the trees there around the campers and stuff. But I think their tent camping is actually in a field up there for their overflow. I think that's where they stick the tents at. I don't think that. I think it's been a while. It's been like 4 years. We did a review on Chris's. You can go back and look at that, and we did that.
The bad boy said, was hoping to see you at the Wendy's at the Lone Star Rally, but got my toy hauler now. So what is the best place price wise to stay? It'll be my first time there. We stayed at Jamaica Me Happy, but that wasn't, I don't know how expensive it was. That was 4 years ago.
So so you're looking at the Lone Star Rally is where you're wanting to stay. Is hoping to see you at Wendy's at the Lone Star Rally, but got my toy hauler now. So what is I don't know what Wendy's has to do with the Lone Star
Well, I
Rally.
think we must have met him because I remember meeting somebody. We went to a Wendy's to either cool off or to go get something to drink. There's that Wendy's right there where Adam Amsoil was at and all that. And we might have seen him.
So I don't know that
there's a campground. Where's that?
At the county fairgrounds. There's a guy we know that puts that on. You could probably go to Galveston and type in fairgrounds. They got some RV spots there that you can get. It's a little better price. You're in town a little bit more, so it's a little bit of a ride to get down to Galveston. Like I say, depends what you want to do. The one place we were going to stay at was on the other side of the water, but I don't remember what that was called. Somebody else said.
It started with a D, I think. Brianna said they got a Verbo and lead and split it 9 ways. It was $600 a person for the week.
There you go. And there's a lot of people like that. Maxie Philly, if you watch
go
him,
with a lot of people,
he does a lot of Airbnbs, and he says, some of the rallies you're telling us, you ought to check that out instead of doing the hotels, because sometimes they're cheaper than a hotel. So, which I'm not a big Airbnb person. I never really. I've heard some horror stories about Airbnb and VBird or whatever there. I've seen some problems where you end up getting there and find out you can't ride your motorcycle into the community, or scary things you find out that they didn't tell you. We did do an Airbnb in Georgetown once, and that was nice. But
so Tony Cole says, "Hey, I'm." Wow.
So like I said, we only did Galveston one time. So we're not experts on going places to stay. Like I said, the first place we stayed was really expensive. It was like $2,000.
And it was called Jamaica Me Beach.
And it was more set up for kids.
Yeah,
it had water park and miniature golf and swimming pools. It had all kinds of stuff. And when I Googled it, it just looked like a nice place. And then the next year we were going to go down, which we ended up canceling, was on the water side. And it was a little more reasonable, but I don't know what it was. She's going to look and see if she can find the place.
I thought I had it in my.
But you'd have to look at what's that called down there? What's that road?
Oh, here it is. It's Delanera. Delanera RV Park.
Well, they read it on there. And so we had booked that probably 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, probably 4 years ago. And we were going to go down there, and then we decided we're not big Galveston people. There really is no riding down there. You pretty much are hanging out you're either hanging where Amsoil Adam is right there on the pier on the ocean side, or you're on the inside where Ciro and a lot of those other vendors are at. And that's about it. They got a main street and stuff. There has been some shootings and stabbings over the year. I think the last shooting wasn't a 1%er. It was a gang member shot somebody. But one of our subscribers was actually down there. They ended up having to leave their motorcycle out there all night because they roped it all off and put the tape up and said, you can't get your bike. And so they had to find somebody to take him home. And then that guy looked like they were going to rob him, and he ended up jumping out of the truck, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. Or he said, you either take me where I want to go, or yeah. And they let him go. Well, I don't know.
What are you calling for?
Well, because I can't find the phone number.
It's the phone number right there you just called, isn't it?
I know, but
I would just put the name down. They can search for it. Maybe it's not in business anymore. I don't know. But that's the place we were going to stay at down in Galveston. It was on the water side, and the spots looked all right. They had a little bathhouse, and I think they had a bar or store or something there. That was it. Very small. But looking to save money, that's all you do. But if you wanted to do it, check out the county.
But it was right there. I guess overlooking the bay. I don't know. I don't know if that was the Gulf or if it was the bay.
And the other place would be check out the county fairgrounds during that time, and looking at Galveston County Fairgrounds. There's like 10 or 15 campsites there. They're doing a bunch of stuff too. They do biker games and have some vendors there. And we've never been there, so I don't know what it looks like. But if we ever went again and took the trailer, that was one of the places I was going to check into, because I thought that would be a little more reasonable. because once again in Galveston there's not.
Oh, he says no Sturgis.
Oh, I was wondering
After
that.
we did all of that.
I was wondering that.
Yes, that was us that we met at the Wendy's. Okay, I thought I remember meeting somebody in the Wendy's.
First time I'm going to Sturgis, and see, those are the questions I always ask. Are you interested in listening to concerts? Are you interested in Main Street? Are you interested in more in the rides? Because that's what you have to decide. And then we could recommend something. That depends on what you want. There's some campgrounds I won't do. Probably the one campground I won't do is in Deadwood, the KOA. It's like on a freaking hill. And we drove up there with a truck, and it's like, I don't know how I would drag my trailer up here without falling off the side of the mountain.
Like it's sideways, and then you have to, and then you go this way, but the road isn't flat. It's like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I would never stay there. People stay there and say they love it, but I wouldn't. I don't like to stay out in, like, we have one of our YouTube friends that she loves Custer all the time. See, I don't want to stay in Custer because it's too far from everything. If you pretty much, if you're in Custer, you're probably going to come in town on Saturday or something in the afternoon, and that's it. Because that's could be a 2-hour ride to get back, depending on traffic, get back to Custer.
Riding, please. I don't
so
know.
If you want riding, then you want to be more in Rapid City, because that's where all the good riding is. That's where Iron Mountain, Needles Highway, that's where Custer State Park is, Town of Custer, Hill City, Keystone, a whole lot of back roads we did, Playhouse roads back there. You close to Mount Rushmore, to Crazy Horse. There you go. That's Badlands. You're closer to that. The things you're not close to is Van Knocker Road, Spearfish, and Devil's Tower. That's what's on the other side of the world. And also all the stuff going on in Sturgis. Now, also in Rapid City, you got the dealership right there. So you're real close to Black Hills Harley, where all the big vendors are at. So there is a few campgrounds there. One of the campgrounds we stay at, it's hard to get into. That's where we've been staying at before the rally, is called Rushmore Shadows. There's a couple other ones. You just have to look up. The city park has one too. It's pretty bare bones. Rapid City Campgrounds. Oh, also, what's the Heart one called?
Oh, Heart Ranch.
Heart Ranch is another one you can look into. Heart Ranch. There's Black Hawk Creek. They were a little high when I looked at that. They've got a KOA that's in Rapid City. Those are just a few that I see. There is a few people like Wyatt's Lemonade. If you can go without dumping your tanks, I think he's got electric and water at their house. They rent a spot. There is some places like that that have RV spots that they're renting in their driveways or in the side of their house or barn or whatever it is. Something to think about. Most of your big, but there is some more campgrounds along the highway. There is a whole bunch of campgrounds around the Custer area too. If you're going to do more riding, if you have no intention of really coming into Sturgis, there's a couple that they're a little harder to get into. That's actually in Custer State Park, which we were kind of thinking about that before we left. We were thinking about doing 2 days, but I looked about a week before and it was just such a mess. I couldn't find anything within 2 days. I was going to look before we left, and we ended up staying a day longer than we were going to stay anyway. We were going to leave Monday and we left Tuesday.
So Graphic said, first time this year they stayed in Rapid. The riding was incredible, exceeded all their expectations. He looked for us guys in Sturgis, but never saw us.
Yeah. You either got to email us or to get our phone number, or to text us and say, we kind of tell you. Because even we put a schedule out and we started out really good with that schedule, but we never stuck to it. And that's what's hard to say, because you just don't know how the day goes. Some things, like here at the end, we decided to do the chicken place to eat again. And we were planning on doing that anyway, but we thought we'd do it before the rally again. We never did. And we wanted to do the 385, and it ended up raining on that Thursday before the rally. So we didn't end up doing 385.
No, we were going to do Needles with Lisa and Joe.
Yeah, and it rained that day. So yeah, that's what we were going to do, Needles, and I was going to do 385 on the way back. So we could see it. It ended up being 385 was in excellent shape. If you complained about 385, you shouldn't ride a motorcycle. Because that week of the rally was perfect, because we rode right after the rally. And it was like, oh my gosh, this is like, they rock chipped it, but the rock was pushed in. It looked like it was asphalt. Some people thought it was asphalt. It was not asphalt. It was rock chip. We seen them putting that down originally. If you looked off to the side, you could see the rocks not in the ground, but you could see the tar. So it was rock chipped, and it was in excellent shape. It was really good.
Asked when our next rally was going to be. I guess they came on a little bit later. So
we're heading to Ocean City, Maryland. That'll be in about 26 days. We'll be there. It's actually in 27 days when it starts. After that is Bikes, Blues and BBQ, and that's going to be in about 48 days. We'll be there in about 40 days. And then the last rally we're going to end up with this year is Daytona Biketoberfest, and that is in 63 days, but we'll be there in about probably about 58 days. You can go. There is a rally app for Biketoberfest that the business group put on. It's really cool. We're going to do a video again. You can go back and watch the other one. But if you look up Biketoberfest rally app, and that will get you, you can book hotels, all kinds of stuff are right on there to get you good prices and good people and all that kind of good stuff. So if you're thinking about Biketoberfest, that's already set up. Camping in Biketoberfest, there's best
Easy Ride will be out there.
Yeah, Camp Easy Ride. Yeah, if you want to come in and take advantage of his tents, he'll be over there at Cabbage Patch. Crazy Horse. Crazy Horse is a great campground that only has dry camping, but they do have water on site. They have a pump truck that can pump you out. You can run generators and all that.
They have a shower house, and then they have porta potties. And
that's a cool place. I like that. There's a couple other places in town that rent just for the rally. Big parking lots that have electric and water. I don't think they have sewer though. And then there's a bunch of stuff around the racetrack. First time we went, we stayed at one. We didn't stay inside the racetrack. It was right outside the racetrack, which ended up being wasn't that bad a price. It was 50 amp. You had water. I think you get 3 free pump outs. If you booked the whole week, that's during bike week. You got 3 pump outs. Here you probably only get 1 if you're being only 4 days. That was included with it, and so that worked out. That was the very first year we went, and that wasn't too badly priced. But you're pretty close to everybody. Then there's also Cackleberry, which I'm not a big person to recommend that because if it rains, it's a mud hole, and their showers and stuff are pretty nasty towards the end. So I'm not a big. Over by Tamaka Farms Road and where the flea market is, there's a campground right over there too. Yeah. And I don't know, during the fall, County, there's campgrounds out there, out the fairgrounds. It's a good time if you've never been in Daytona. I always recommend the fall rally because it's not as crowded. It's a little easier to find things. Not as many vendors there, but I mean, there's enough to keep you busy for the 4 days you're there. All the bars are doing stuff because all the music is free. They don't really charge you any cover charges or anything like that to get in to hear any of the bands. Some people complain about that. Why don't they have the main acts? Once again, you'd be paying $120 a night to get in there. So when you're paying nothing, you should take advantage of what you got. So I don't know. Any more questions? I'm about done. 94. In over 2 hours, you didn't stop us. 2.5 hours. I tried to stop you at 1.5 hours and you wouldn't stop. So what makes you think you're going to stop at 2.5 hours? Itchy. A little higher. So there you go. We're all done. Been there, done that, seen that, answered a bunch of questions. Hopefully I'll get a video done tomorrow morning. And so we'll have a new video out tomorrow night, and then hopefully the rest of the week. Probably have a regular video live on Sunday. So you guys can check that out and see if there's anything interesting you want to see on the live. If you got any questions, you can always email us and we can do some research. And some people do videos like that you want to know questions. I got one of the YouTubers that we watch off and on. He's a RVer. He's got a motorcycle, but he didn't come out this year. He's got a video coming out soon. Ask me any questions, and you can write all the questions. Half the questions are really stupid things they've been asking, and but we pretty much answer the questions on here anyway. There you go. There's our email. If you got any questions, any concerns, you want us to cover something, look something up, want to see it on a video, let us know. We can't cover everything. Some things are, I get people all the time. I want you to go to Laconia again. Please go to Laconia. Please go to Laconia. First of all, we don't have any interest to go to Laconia. And the main reason is we have no place to stay. We have no bike. We have to fly in there. We're not driving clear across the United States just to go to Laconia. We'd probably be lucky to make $1,000, and it'd probably be a $4,000 trip. And Sturgis is probably the only one that, even though I said you only make $3,500 for doing all this, but if you sat down and figured out 9 weeks divided by the videos, we didn't make nothing, considering we probably worked anywhere from 8 to 12 hours a day. So there you go.
Thanks for hanging out with us today. We love all you guys, and we're glad we got to meet a lot of you. Hopefully, sorry if we didn't get to meet all of you, but you know, we can't only be in so many places at the same time. Yeah, we talked to her today, Rick, at Arizona Bike Week, but I'll let you know what she says when she calls back. But don't forget to support our sponsors. They're the ones that get us to all those rallies to get you all the great information. Don't forget to tell them Bob and Tam sent you. If you go check out any of our sponsors, that lets them know that what we're doing is helping them and supporting us. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Share us with your family and friends. Give us a big thumbs up. Ring that bell for notifications. We'll see you on the next video.
Yep. They sold record-breaking there at people always say that. There was somebody put a video out the other day and said, there's no Harley-Davidsons in rallies anymore. There's none. And I know. I was going to write a guy the comment. And I thought, you know, I said, are you just being sarcastic or what are you trying to do? And it's like, yes, pretty much, unless you're going to a Honda rally or something like that, it's pretty much all rallies are dominant usually of Harley-Davidsons. That's just the way it is. It's always been that way, and it's still going that way. And it's like, I don't understand, like a bunch of people are saying when they talked about their motorcycles, oh, there'll probably be a lot of repos after this. Every year there's a lot of repos. And I'm like, and where did you get your information from? You know, because I don't see the repos. You know, there was some repos here in 2020 and stuff like that when people's economy and they were out of work and stuff like that. Yes, Harley-Davidson had a lot of them come back, but there's still not a lot of used motorcycles out there. There's a lot of older bikes, but not a whole lot of newer bikes. Like I'd love to have a 24 Road Glide used. Of course, I want a good price on it if I'm going to buy one, but I'm not buying a new one. They gave me a great offer on a brand new one from Black Hills Harley, and they gave out some great deals. And a couple people complained about the financing, and we did find out some of that was true. They found out they hired an outside company to come in and help do the financing, and some of them were a little pushy on
the extra add-ons.
Yes, and that's what I said. I said, well, did some people some people might just get walk out? And they said, yes, we lost customers because of that. They might have sold another 20 or 30 more bikes. And then so by the time they found out that was going on, then they went back and said, no, we don't do that here.
That's not the way we do business.
Yeah, we need, you know, if you've asked them to buy the extended warranty and you explained it to you explain, hey, this is why you might want to get it. You know, these parts are expensive, da 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 da. And then if they still say no, I'm not interested, then you're done. But they did the typical sale.
What about this? Well, let me go get somebody else.
Yes.
Maybe they can explain it different.
And so you know, so that did happen.
Share.
But they said the second half they kind of got that straightened out because I brought it up to them and they admitted to it and said, yeah, we did do that. And the one person a couple people were complaining on Facebook about it. But you know, and it's like any place you go. We buy something. She always asks that same question. Before he agrees to buying it, we need to get in and out of here in less than an hour. We're not spending any more time than that. And I bought my truck that way. And we bought my motorcycle that way. It went pretty quickly and stuff. And her bike, when we bought the Sportster, wasn't really a big deal. Most places aren't too bad. But yeah, it's like a timeshare. If you ever go to a timeshare.
I hate that. Yeah, he says, oh, do you want to go? They're going to give us this and this and this and this. And it's like, all right, how long do they say? I do. I say, you let me know when this tour starts. And they're like, oh, it's starting right now. Okay. 90 minutes, you got me. And after that, I'm out of here.
Now they've raised it to like
120 minutes or something. It's like.
We had one time they went in and said, does anybody just come here for the free gift?
They overbooked. There was, I mean, they probably were supposed to have like 50 people there, and there was like 150. And they said, who's just here for the gift? We are. Come grab it was a little miniature TV. See you later. Bye.
This is back in the 80s. But now I find out because these guys that catch you like in Las Vegas on the strip, they get like $500 to send you. So they'll pay you about $300 cash to go to the thing. They'll give you like $50 up front or $100 up front, and you come back and you don't say anything while you're there that you're getting paid money. And then because they're supposed to give you show tickets or all this crap, I don't need no show tickets. I'll take the cash. If I'm going to spend 2 hours there, it's worth $300 to me. And so we did that a couple of times. And And they always pay me, so I never not get it. But we pretty much. Well, she always smiles and nods her head, and I say, "Stop that! Just sit there." So one time she sat there.
I did. I crossed my hands and I looked down. I didn't look at the guy the whole time. And he's like, "Are you not in a good mood?" And I'm just like, "I'm just doing what I said. I'm not going to agree with nothing."
Because it's all about getting you to say yes. Oh, wouldn't you love to go to? Where's the greatest places you'd love to go? I was a salesman most of my life. I've sold stuff. We're selling stuff here. We sell our video that you're watching, and it's which I should sell it the way I should do it as I was taught, not as we do, because we pretty much just sling this stuff up and whatever hits the wall hits the wall. And,
yeah.
Any more questions?
Glad you guys made it home safe, Miss Donna.
Yeah.
Safe travels, and do you plan on being at Arizona Bike Week?
That's the plan right now.
Looking like it's a high probability.
Unless something happens with like Leesburg and stuff. If Leesburg, one of the things that she said today was there's a lot of things that I wanted to do when we started this channel. We were going to be an RV channel when we started it in 2020, and then the rally came and that took off, and that's where we went. Well, there's things here that we didn't get to do. We wanted to go to Arches Park over here in Utah and spend a couple weeks and explore all that. I'd like to go back to Yellowstone and actually spend a week or so there. I mean, it all takes more money. That's what I told her. I said, we don't have a lot of money to be spending on that. Here, we don't. When we drug the trailer around, very few parks do we pay for. We also had a membership, so we paid for the membership. But it gets you, it got us to stay in Florida pretty much all time. We never really paid any money once we got that going. So we had a pretty good system for going. But then with not taking the trailer anymore, then that's when we have to find places to stay. We ended up staying with Steven in Myrtle Beach. That ended up working out. A lot of times I don't always like to stay at people's houses because it's just weird, and it's just, you don't know them. You might know us, but we don't know you. And everybody's different, and sometimes things just don't go. And then if it doesn't work out, then we're screwed because you can't get a hotel at the last minute. You could for $1,000 a night. But so it's always weird about sometimes like that. And it's like this year I said, well, maybe we could stay in Daytona longer. We always wanted to do the Keys, but I'd only gone there for a couple of days. Can't afford to stay a week down there. And then there's somebody else that has a house that they would let us use, but it's by some lake. It's not very far from Fort Lauderdale. So we could stay there a couple of days. We get offers all along. We just got an offer to stay in Hewlett for a couple of days in this big old condo. And we might do that this year or next year when we go back. Spend a couple of days in Hewlett and film more about the city and stuff. But there's a lot of things like that we wanted to do that we've never got to do. Like we would like to go out and do Maggie Valley and do some rides around that. There's a whole bunch of our vendors.
We keep saying we want to do a ride up the coast of California.
Yeah. And that's off my bucket list all the time. Every year I want to do it, but it's usually our best time is right after Sturgis. Well, most of the people have already spent all the money for Sturgis, so they can't do the ride on the coast. Because most of you have to ship your bike out there, or it's a long way most of you seem to live more on the East Coast than you do on the West Coast. So I don't know. We keep talking about that, and one of these days I'm just going to jump on the bike and say, let's go. And so I still got the noise in my bike, and Heavy Ed said he thought maybe one of my lifters is going bad. So I don't know what I'm going to do. Got a couple more comments, and you can answer that, and then you can shut her down. Oh, I can't sit anymore.
I know. Oops, there's another one. Joe Smith. Hi, Bob and Tam. Back to Illinois. Missed South Dakota already. I know. Tell me about it. Arches will take your breath away. I know. He's always wanted to do that. And he'd heard several years ago that they're collapsing slowly. Bees, Robert. Thanks for the great coverage of the rally. Looking forward to your next adventure. And PCH up to Big Sur. Oh my gosh. You should do Mirror Forest up north of San Francisco and all the way up to Oregon. That's his favorite part. Go to Yellowstone before Sturgis next year.
Nah, because we get to Sturgis so early.
I know. Well, we've always wanted to do Beartooth Pass too, and never got to do that.
I think I've done it, but I did it when the time when she flew home. I think me and Art did it, but we didn't know. We rode right through it.
Illinois, here too for sorry for us, Joseph. Yeah. Illinois is a little, there's Neil. We're all done. Sorry, Neil. I'm glad you got your boot off. I heard that. We need to call Beth and see how she's doing. And did you hear about her brother? Anyway, so our prayers go out to Beth and Neil. So thanks all of you guys for hanging out. Like I said, we love you all, and we'll see you Sunday. We're going to do another live, so we'll see you then.
Bye.